The time has come for a council meeting. Before we start, we will ask Mr. Imam Yaran Syed. Okay, I'm sorry, that's right. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Present.
Alderman Mozio.
Here.
Alderman Villalobos.
Present.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Tempest.
Present.
Alderman May.
Present.
Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present. Now, invocation by Mr. Iman Yaram Syed from the Urban Muslim Minority Center. Please come to the mic. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to open with a short verse from the Quran, and I will give a translation, and then we'll end with a prayer. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most kind, Master of the Day of Judgment, you alone we worship, you alone we ask for help. Show us a straight path, the path of those whom you favor, not the path of those who go astray. Ya Allah, we ask you to bless these proceedings, to allow us to do good deeds that will benefit this community and this city. Ameen.
Please continue to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have some mayor's comments. Some mayor's comments. First, on behalf of the citizens of Waukegan, I would urge Governor Rauner to sign Senate Bill 1, which is school funding formula change. It would bring an estimated additional $14.6 million annually to District 60. Our children are our future. And as a father, I know. So I would once again urge Governor Rauner to sign Senate Bill 1. In light of President Trump's decision to withdraw from the Paris Agreement as the county seat in one of the largest cities in Illinois, I am planning to join climate mayors and sign the Paris Agreement. This is currently being reviewed by city's legal counsel, but I want to inform the community of Waukegan my intentions. In the coming weeks, I will have further announcements about the Paris Agreement. Proposed solar project on parts of Yeoman Creek landfill. The Yeoman Creek landfill site has been a Superfund site for over 20 years. $20 million has been spent stabilizing it, with taxpayers' share approaching half of that cost. The city and the school district still face ongoing significant yearly expenses in maintaining it. These government entities have worked with private entities in the Yeoman Creek Remediation Group to try and find a way to limit further expenses and turn the site into something productive within our community. After much thought and effort, this working group has come up with a proposal that deserves serious consideration. They located a well-qualified company which proposes to cover all capital expenses, all capital costs to build a solar energy project on top of the cap and make payments to the landowner in the YCRG, which is the Yeoman Creek Remediation Group, from the revenues produced. While the city still must consider some zoning issues and cannot fully endorse any proposal on this land at the present time, the idea of turning an environmental disaster into a clean energy site is very appealing. The project is scheduled to be fully vetted in the public when the school district applies to the city for a conditional use permit, which it anticipates doing in the next few months. Road construction and maintenance notice. Lake County Department of Transportation crews will be conducting extensive patching on Lewis Avenue from 14th Street to Belvedere over the next few weeks. We ask that motorists please use care and caution and obey the speed limit when driving in this area and give their workers the space to conduct this operation safely and successfully. There will be extra watch in this area during the construction, and violators will be ticketed for unsafe driving. Special announcement for a great partnership for Waukegan Beach and plans for a cool new opportunity. I would like to call up Mike, and I'm gonna spell the name. Zaramba. Kiteboard Mike. All right, Kiteboard Mike and Jody from Windy City Kite Sports to come up and say hello and give us a few words on who they are and what they would like to do in the next few weeks at Waukegan Beach. Mike and Jody, thank you for attending.
Thank you for being so welcoming. This has got to be one of the friendliest cities I have ever encountered, and I've traveled all over. First of all, I'm going to let Mike take the stage, but basically, kiteboarding is already legendary among the kiteboard community throughout the Chicagoland area and beyond, from Wisconsin all the way to Michigan and even in Europe. People think Kite Keegs. That's the affectionate name kiters have for Waukegan. So we've decided that we wanted to celebrate kiteboarding and use it as a vehicle to bring patronage to the local businesses, to have more colorful kites flying in the air. So working in tandem with the city of Waukegan, we're going to do two events. A private event for all the city personnel, which Mike will share with you, to share boundaries of etiquette, and so that the city and the beach patrol can work effectively with kiters. And then also an event for the public, to educate the public, and anyone interested in kiteboarding can get an opportunity to sort of get introduced to the sport. So speaking of introductions, here is Kiteboard Mike. Take it away.
Hi there. Thank you, Jody. Have you all seen kiteboarding on the beach over here in North Beach? So it's when we get a Southwest over there behind that jetty, it's worth dropping everything and coming up here. So it is a destination. Kiteboarding is growing, and my part in all this is just sort of an organizer. We bring people up, and you know, the people that aren't familiar with the sport, we introduce them, teach them safety, and we see the sport growing, so we want to continue to sort of have our organization up there. And we'd like to get the city involved, and I'd like to hold a workshop to just sort of train you all, whoever's interested, the appropriate people, the people that are patrolling the beaches, on boundaries of etiquette of kiting, just so we can all, kiteboarding, we self-police typically, but every once in a while, if somebody's getting out of hand, it's not a bad idea to have someone there who might see it to sort of remind them of the boundaries of etiquette. And then also hold a public workshop on just to get people oriented and get them into the sport safely.
Well, thank you, sir. And just so everybody understands what kiteboarding is, it is where the boat...
No boats.
No boats.
Just a big, colorful, spectacular kite, about the size of a parachute. And then we're on a wakeboard, sort of. And we're being powered through the wind.
Mayor.
Oh.
Mayor. Mayor, real quick. I don't know if Mike knows, but I had the opportunity to go to Spain some time back, about 5 years ago, Tarifa, Spain.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we were just
which
there.
is the capital of surfing in Europe. It's a fishing village of 15,000, and then from July, August, September, it goes to 65,000. That's how many people in Europe enjoy kite surfing. I had the chance to go. It wasn't during the peak season, but I got a chance to go in June. A friend of mine lives there and got married there, so I have a little bit of idea what you're talking about. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's a big idea right there.
I would love to have it come here. I think it's got a lot of potential.
They're here? Well, thank you for coming, and a better explanation what kiteboarding is, and I'm glad Alderman May is involved, and I will watch her.
You'll have two aldermen
Thank
on
you.
there. I'll do it.
We'll see you all at the beach. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. We really appreciate you. All right. Okay, Amazon update. As promised, the city, Lake County Workforce Development, and Amazon will be hosting a kickoff hiring event for Amazon's new Waukegan facility here at Waukegan City Hall on Wednesday, June 28th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Attendees will have an opportunity to learn more about the full-time positions that include day one benefits. For more information, call the Job Center of Lake County at 847-377-3450. Correction, 3450. Again, we're going to be hosting, and I want to make sure I get this right. Noel, are you here? Because I know, can you come up, please? And just give exact details so everybody understands what we're doing here. It's a collaboration with Workforce Development. Go ahead, Noel, why don't you explain?
Lake County Workforce Development offers free services for job seekers throughout Lake County. It's supported by the Lake County Board. And because Amazon is coming to Waukegan, they've offered to partner with the city and host a job training event, a hiring event here at Waukegan City Hall. As the mayor said, it will be on Wednesday, June 28th from 9 to 5 in this room. So anybody who's interested in pursuing a career with Amazon can come here and fill out paperwork and get all the information they need to pursue a career.
Okay, everyone, and if I'm not mistaken, Noel, they did tell us they can actually start going on Amazon.com and then set up interviews?
You can do the initial application. The website is on the bottom of that brochure, right underneath the blue box. Maybe you could read it. I don't have it in front of me.
Amazon.com/apply.
Apply. And then you pick the location, so you would pick Waukegan, and then fill out the preliminary application. And the people who apply online ahead of time will get scheduled for interviews more quickly than those who come the first time here. So we encourage you, if you're able, to apply online ahead of time. And then they'll get you booked for interviews and
We'll go from there.
get it underway.
All right, everybody. That's a great thing, And again, I want to congratulate former Mayor Motley for his effort in getting that project started. So there we go. And those are my mayor's comments. Now we go to audience time.
Okay, let me get the
We remind
list.
everybody on audience time, for those newcomers, you have 3 minutes. And the timer is set by our city clerk, Ms. Janet Kilkelly. So as you approach the mic, your 3 minutes starts when you start speaking. All right? 3 minutes, folks. All right? Ms.
I have Alex L. Alex L.
Alex? Going once, going twice, gone. Next.
No, Amrad, the gentleman who was here for the prayer, Amrad Saeed, maybe he thought he just had to sign in.
Okay.
All right, so then, okay, Jack Dye, 3 minutes.
I'm Jack Dye at 235 Gillette. I'm here to discuss the proposed city budget for Waukegan. Developing a budget is complex for this city, and as large as Waukegan is a daunting task. I applaud the desire to review all aspects and not simply lightly edit previous budgets. Taking a long, hard look at what is needed and can be adjusted does take time. Time, unfortunately, Waukegan doesn't really have by July 31st. With that said, I'd like to call to attention the overarching issue I see with the proposed budget. The starting point of the budget is the amount of money you have to spend. It's the single most critical piece of information you have. In the executive overview, the budget narrative begins by stating the operating budget for fiscal year 2018 has total revenues of $122.2 million, expenditures of $126.5 million, net transfers of $1.7 million, and a deficit of $2.6 million. Stop right there. We are budgeting to spend more than we are projecting to have. find at least $2.6 million a cut. We can't approve such a budget. We don't need to look any further than the state of Illinois or the state of Detroit to know that's a bad idea. We're calling for no rain in our budget and in the foreseeable future, yet history shows that rain comes whether or not we prepare for it. Where will Waukegan be in the case where we got rid of our umbrella? We're already soaked with one of the highest property taxes in the county and the state. Tax increases cannot be leveraged to offset our spending. Core services and pension obligations are non-negotiable. Define the staffing levels and capital needs for the core services are vital to this process. Promised and expected levels of service are critical for the residents of Waukegan. When the fire department and police department are called, they need to arrive quickly and with the adequate equipment. Lives are usually on the line for both the residents and the responders. Staffing and equipment corners cannot be cut. Sections of the budget, such as outsourced services, salaries, benefits, specific department headcount, organizational structure, and additional services will be discussed, deliberated, and agreed upon by the council members. These details are extremely important and need appropriate attention. The requirement is to stay at least on, preferably under, but definitely not over budget from the start. A failure to stay within the budget is a failure to properly serve the residents and businesses of Waukegan. Aldermen, please speak with, or continue to speak with, the residents of your ward before considering voting on the proposed budget. Increased communication levels within each ward is vital to understand what residents deem important. Reach out to your ward. Don't wait for them to come to you. Code enforcement, public safety, and tree removals are also some of several issues that need to be addressed along with the budget. The citizens elected each of you to be their voice. Speak with confidence that your values are represented. Waukegan needs to be a city of accountability before we can become a true city of progress. Thanks.
Esther Herron? Esther Herron?
My name is Esther Herran. I am a Venezuelan architect with experience developing international projects for almost 20 years. Also, I am bringing awareness about the situation confronted by educated immigrants in the workforce in the United States. I was encouraged after receiving 2 letters from President Barack Obama. On May 22nd, in a meeting with Mayor Sam Cunningham, I expressed my concerns about the Waukegan Development Plan that I consider that is setting aside the Waukegan community to please other parties with a special interest. The rare empty lots in the downtown should be kept by the city for future developments, expansion, connection between the urban core and the lakefront. I have noticed a partially fenced lot at Genesee between Washington and Water Street, the uninviting harbor structure, and I hope they won't be permanent. Otherwise, an outstanding Waukegan development would be jeopardized. In addition, the city planning and zoning department told me that the lots that are in intersection of Genesee Street and Belvedere are private. For me, it was a surprise. This is the result of bad decisions taken for past administration without having professional people involved. If years ago the city of Chicago had sold downtown empty lots, probably today we wouldn't have the Grand Park and Millennium Park. Waukegan is a diamond in a rough that could be turned into a world lakefront destination and a landmark that our community could be proud of, respecting our community and not leaving anyone behind. A project of this magnitude needs to get done right, implemented in phases, with every stage carefully planned and executed. The lakefront needs future rezoning and restriction in the height of the buildings to have an engaging urban shape. There are other options for the city to get the funds needed. A transparent budget review process that Mr. Cunningham looks like he has his eye on this already. Gathering brainstorm sessions to come up with new ideas, a public discussion to empower the community to give input about the future of the city. I ask the city official to show your leadership moving forward and not risking this important project by rushing to the finish line to come up short because key factors were not considered. Mr. Mayor, you could stand your ground using your veto power
Thank you, Mrs. Herron.
of your office to overturn and avoid any consequences, irreversible consequences. Thank you very much.
The Reverend Eileen Shandy Roberts.
Good evening, Mayor Cunningham and members of the City Council. I'm Reverend Eileen Shanley Roberts, resident of the 4th Ward and co-chair of the Clean Power Lake County campaign. I want to thank you for your announcement, and what I'm saying will build on my thanks for that. On Saturday, partners with Clean Power Lake County and State Representative Rita Mayfield co-hosted the Future Energy Jobs Act Town Hall at North Shore Church of Christ. We had over 100 Waukegan and neighboring community residents in attendance. We're grateful to the North Shore Church of Christ and Representative Mayfield for working with us to make the town hall possible. Tonight, I'd also like to recognize the city council members who made time to attend the town hall: Alderman Moisio, Alderman Villalobos, Alderman May, and Alderman Taylor, and County Commissioners Cunningham and Wyatt. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to continue to work with all of you on bringing the benefits of the clean energy economy to Waukegan. The town hall featured a handful of speakers who spoke on a variety of topics, including a snapshot of the social, economic, and environmental impacts of climate change on our community, and an overview of the legislation's implications for our city. Waukegan has a huge amount to gain from this new legislation, and we need to start planning projects like the Yeoman Creek landfill in collaboration with solar developers now. Our invited speakers also spoke to the Illinois Solar for All program, which prioritizes incentives in rooftop, brownfield, and community solar investments for communities just like ours. This means that many Waukegan residents could reap the utility rate credits that come from participating in solar and energy efficiency projects across our city. Additionally, the town hall addressed local community employment and training opportunities in solar development jobs. The legislation is creating a job training program that requires 50% of its trainees to come from environmental justice communities like Waukegan, and the policies have an overall goal of hiring 2,000 men and women who are returning citizens and foster care alumni. Clean Power Lake County partners such as the Sierra Club and Faith in Place are working with ComEd and others to make sure these opportunities happen here. It's clear from Saturday that our efforts are about more than advocating for Waukegan's environment. It's about bringing sustainable economic prosperity to all our residents. Over the last few weeks, in response to the irresponsible actions of our president to reverse climate protections and clean energy advancement, we're seeing states, cities, businesses, and universities around the country step forward and declare their commitment to our planet and our economy. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Eileen. I have the Mexican Queen of Waukegan. I have, is it Marianne? Of Tonatico?
Hello, my name is Madian Garibay Garcia. I am from Mexico, especially from a little place, a little town called Tonatico, and I'm here for make a special invitation to the mayor of Waukegan, Illinois, to because we want to all the community of Latin Americans here in Waukegan that you can go to visit our place called Tonatico. All the Mexicans we want to do that travel to that place to make a special treatment for all countries, because we know that the population of Latin America is very it's huge. It has almost the 50% of all the population in Waukegan, Illinois, is Latin America. So it's very important to everybody that makes a great importance to these people. And well, I'm talking about who I am, because I think that you are wondering who is this little person. So, well, my name is Marian, as I said, and I'm studying economics at UNAM, Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México, National Autonomous University of Mexico, well, his name is UNAM, and it is in Mexico City, and I am 20 years old. So I think that it's very important to all these people, Latin America people, that level their voice because it's very, very, very important to all this beautiful city, to all this economy, for the poverty, and well, we want to work with this beautiful city, and with you, our mayor, Sam Cunningham. So that's all for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's nervous.
And then Galilea.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to start off to introduce myself. My name is Galilea Mendoza. I am 18 years old. I graduated recently Cristo Rey St. Martin, a private school here in Waukegan. I am going to attend Columbia College, and I am majoring in communications and minoring in broadcast journalism. Just to let you know, just a little something about me. Okay. I was honored to take the role of Señorita Fiestas Patrias, Waukegan Tonatico 2015. I'm here to personally invite our mayor, Sam Cunningham, to be Grand Marshal for this year's Mexican Fiestas Patrias 2017 parade. 1, Sunday, September 17. If you want to write that down. More than 2,000 of our residents of Waukegan will be participating in this parade, including schools, businesses, and organizations. Mayor Sam Cunningham, it would be an honor for you to be our Grand Marshal in this year's parade. Thank you.
Margaret Carrasco.
Yes, good evening. My name is Margaret Carrasco, and tonight I am here Monday, June 19th. First, wanted to give kind of like a report card, a status report. As a taxpayer, as a resident of Waukegan, what has changed as of May 1st? Okay? Talked to a lot of people, north side, south side, all different races. For the most part, the two things that stand out that I hear is first, the residents love that Waukegan is starting to become alive, starting to have so many different events. People just, they want to participate, they want to go to, they don't want to have to keep driving to Gurnee to go to an event. And the second thing is, I see is the signage, communicating upcoming events, the big signs, telling all residents about what's going on. Before, that wasn't the case, so that's really a big plus. For those persons who are not aware, as of May 1st, I don't think our mayor has even slept 2 hours, okay? His office has been like a revolving door of so many people wanting to invest in Waukegan. So many people that want to do things, just like the kite thing, which I think is like so cool, and we need more of that, definitely. Everyone is putting in, as I see as your staff, Mayor, 200% to improve Waukegan, doing their part, dedicated efforts, except for one individual. And I want to be on the record and in the minutes for the clerk's office. And this is based, this document that I passed out is that comment is based on documents that I obtained via a FOIA request, and I received them on June 15th from the city of Park City. Alderman, if you recall, I previously had brought to your attention about concerns, and apparently it fell on deaf ears, and it's only been silence. I haven't heard anyone. Each one of you are accountable of what goes on in Waukegan. The first thing is the picture. It's a maroon car, number 205, and the question on top says, has anyone seen this City of Waukegan's municipal car in Park City by chance? The next question is that, does this car get free gasoline? The next page is emails. Then we have phone calls.
Thank you, Margaret.
And permits done on city time. Thank you.
Jose Vargas.
Good evening, City Council members, Mr. Mayor, and everybody within hearing. Mr. Mayor, 2 weeks ago I came up and I offered to volunteer my equipment to help clean the Jack Benny Plaza prior to the Scoop event. You mentioned something about fists might partake in that cleaning up. You also mentioned something about liability as far as myself doing it. I'm just curious, is that area going to be cleaned prior to Scoop so that the food vending that's going to take place there can, so that we can have a nice clean area to serve food on?
Well, we typically, I don't respond to questions that come to the floor. I think we've made that general assessment there, but if you want to catch me after the meeting, I can respond to. But we do have a full-blown plan that we will review in time. So why don't you catch me after the council meeting? I can give you some details as to who's handling our plan for our Scoop event. But yes, I'm certain it's going to happen.
Only reason I'm bringing it up, Mr. Mayor, is because it would have gotten done already. I just got to plug up some water. The other thing would be for you, Alderman Villalobos, if so possible that a volunteer group can come together to help clean that parking lot where the main stage sets up. Is at Weston Genesee Street? Water. This would be my 4th Scoop event that I've gone to. I've never seen that parking lot cleaned or the sidewalk swept prior to the event, not once. And it would be really neat to have these areas cleaned appropriately.
Okay. I can assure you that we will be prepared. We will be prepared for Scoop. I can promise you that, sir. But thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Absolutely, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Etta Bowles. Etta? Tommy Lee Johnson.
I don't have a script. Hi, my name is Tommy Lee Johnson. I'm a resident of Waukegan. I'm also an Army veteran. One thing that I noticed when I came home in 2015 from Kuwait, my second deployment from Kuwait, I previously was deployed to Afghanistan, is I know there was the Veterans Council, but I actually applied to several city jobs and I didn't get it. And I was very surprised. And I would like to see more opportunities for veterans when they come home for employment within the city of Waukegan. I am a HR specialist in the Army, human resource, and I took my talents to Great Lakes because I didn't see anything in Waukegan, and that is unfortunate because I have 9 years of time in the Army and a lot of skills that would be very great for Waukegan, but whatever. So my second thing that I would like to say is the amnesty program. I'm very upset and kind of disappointed in the amnesty program. There are signs everywhere for Scoop the Loop and other things that are going on in Waukegan, but the amnesty program, it's not very comprehensive, nor is it cohesive. It's like, oh, it's gonna start, then it doesn't, and then it's a couple months, and then by the time you figure it out, it's over. And then via Facebook, I didn't see it anywhere else. I don't see it on the website about the amnesty program. It's in July, and it's only for 1 week. So I know you just got here, and I'm not gonna beat you guys all up because there's a lot going on in Waukegan besides tickets. But in the piece that I did read, it said it would like to provide relief because once you have about 5 tickets, you're up to lose your license. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm horrible at driving, and I'm pretty sure all these tickets are my fault, and I would like some relief. So I just want this program to be a little bit more comprehensive and really let people know that this program is out there, and so that we can get our money together and get rid of some of these tickets. And I just would like for you guys to think about that because I just got the job that I have and I can't afford to not have my license, and I barely can afford these tickets, so I need some help. And I would really have liked to work for Waukegan because I live here, and I just want more opportunities for veterans, and that's all I have to say. And congratulations on your election, Mayor Cunningham. That's all. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you do me a favor? Why don't you see our chief outside before you leave, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Chief, raise your hand so, wait, you can't miss him, you got the uniform on. All right, thank you.
Elandra Gwynn?
Hello, Mayor and council members. My name is Yolanda, and I live in Waukegan. Last week I was here with a question about the towing situation and how I was treated derogatory towards, to me, wreckers. Even just last week, when we were talking about the Motown review coming down on the lake, someone told me that they have some tickets, so I called them, wreckers, to ask about the tickets. Well, someone got nasty with me on the phone, threatened to come and tow my car, flexing muscles that ain't even been in there yet. Good. So I would like to know, Mayor, you said you would get back with me, or I hear something. Why Ron Rogers was taken from Lake County, somebody we can communicate with and don't have to feel less than when you communicate with him. So I would like to know why and how come. Thank you very much.
Keith Turner.
Thank you very much. It is so incredibly rare that I come and address the council, so thank you for this opportunity. A couple of things I just want to draw attention to and express my gratitude for. We had an incident up in the Alderman Templeton in the northwest corner of the 6th Ward. several neighbors reached out to me for advice. I in turn contacted Deputy Chief Zupek, and who had Officer Bree Bradfield contact me within 24 hours. That was last council meeting on the 5th. By Saturday, the 10th, Officer Bradfield, had the problem squashed, and the neighbors over there are ecstatic, and they asked me to come and express their gratitude for the efficiency and effectiveness of the Waukegan Police Department's response. So that's one. Two, I talk to a lot of people around town, and I hear a lot of things, and I'm hearing some good stuff coming out of city yards. I hear the morale is extraordinarily high, higher than it's been in the last 10, 15 years. And I've heard that from numerous people unsolicited. So kudos to Mike Hewitt, doing a great job up there in the city yards. And kudos to you, Mayor, for your foresight in bringing these people on board. Lastly, but not leastly, I don't like to toot my own horn, and it's not about me, but I do work closely with Alderman Tempest to ensure that residents in the 6th Ward are being served and serviced, and their issues are addressed. And to that end, for the last 6 years, this is the 6th year that I am announcing what I call my self-funded 6th Ward Rewards Program. I'm offering $1,000 cash reward for any violent crimes that occur in the 6th Ward, and at this point, only $500 for any property crimes or animal abuse or neglect. And I have one reward for each category, so first come, first served. And as always, please contact Alderman Tempest, and if you can't get him, you can call me, and I'll do what I can to help. Thank you for your attention.
Ralph Peterson, Jr.
Hello, everyone. Last meeting, I gave you guys a packet of information with receipts, letters, etc., showing that Whitmore's Towing was fired for overcharging residents and Records was fired for calling his black colleague a nigger. On behalf of concerned citizens and residents, I ask that you vote not to allow these vendors back into the city and that you put this work out to bid only by companies that have not been terminated in the past. Tonight, I have given you in those packets I just passed out just a sample of the additional letters from residents who were victims of Whitmore's overcharging. These residents are asking the city for reimbursement and action. I have received several emails and phone calls from residents and business owners alleging that they have been overcharged by Whitmore's and that his practices are well known by residents, police officers, and even you aldermen. Most of all, they have expressed the disappointment they have with Mayor Cunningham's politics, which features corruption. He's allowed the financial contributions to cloud his judgment of doing the right thing. Mayor, I know you're disappointed with me for bringing this issue to public, but I kind of think later on you and your loved ones will thank me, possibly from stopping you from going to jail. And I also feel that you are using city contractors and this towing vendor as a political piggy bank. Now, this next letter I like to read is from a Waukegan business. It says, my name is Kyle Egan. I am the manager of Auto Body Techs. As a business of the city of Waukegan, I am disappointed to learn that Mayor Cunningham rehired a company that was previously fired for overcharging businesses like mine as well as residents in the city. As an auto body company, we often pick up vehicles from tow companies. To that end, we have picked up vehicles from Whitmore's. Approximately just 30 days ago at 11:10, we had a vehicle picked up from Whitmore's and was charged for an entire day of storage, even when the vehicle was picked up before noon. There's more I could read on about that, but I want to move to the next letter. And this is from a resident, a single mother. My name is Sandria Hill. In early 2015, I received a phone call from a gentleman by the name of Dave Marion. Dave Marion communicated that he was calling on behalf of the city of Waukegan and conducting an investigation of Whitmore's Towing Company and allegations of them overcharging residents. I'll finish this up
Thank you, Ralph.
next week. And there's proof of everything that I've read.
Mr. Clyde McLemore.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Clyde McLemore. I'm founder of Lake County Black Lives Matter. First of all, I want to say to all the men, happy Father's Day. Hope y'all enjoyed it. You know, don't take much to be a dad, but it take a whole lot to be a father. You know, so I want to spin that out to everybody in the audience too. Also, I want to say thank you, Mayor, and to Clerk for your support for the father and daughter dance. We had 40 fathers there. Great to see them young ladies dressed up like that, hair done. I mean, and them fathers wasn't getting in no trouble. They was dancing with their daughters. So that was a great event. It was our first one, and I thank y'all for your support. Today is June 19th. June 19th is Juneteenth. Juneteenth, that's right. And I want to give you a little history on the day. In the state of Texas, it's national holiday today. It took 2.5 years for President Abraham Lincoln proclamation to begin with the implication of the state Texas to arrival of General Gordon Garner and his army of 2,000 Union troops in June of 1865. There was an estimate of 25,000 slaves in Texas when the troops arrived who did not know they were supposed to have been free in 1863. Even with the arrival of the troops in Galveston on June 19, 1865, there was many slaves who had not been alerted of their freedom and continue to work through the harvest seasons, courtesy of the World War. Just said that to give a little history, so maybe next year we can see that. Today I rode around to the libraries. They will be getting a letter from Lake County chapter of Black Lives Matter, because any other holiday, they would have had that, and this was a holiday for us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for participating. That is the end of audience time.
All right. Motion by Alderman Seeger, second by Alderman Taylor, to approve the regular meetings from June 5th, 2017. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May. Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor. Aye.
You guys have it. Motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Tempest, to approve the executive session minutes from May 15th, 2017.
Alderman Seeger.
Sorry, roll call.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May. Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor. Aye.
Resolutions, proclamation, presentations, appointments. Resolution honoring Mr. Greg Petrie. We had a motion on the floor. Motion by Alderman Tempest.
Second.
Second by Alderman May, to give resolution for, is it still executive director or former now? Still, as of today's date, right? Executive director of our award-winning Park District, Mr. Greg Petrie. Please come on up, and the clerk will read the resolution.
All right. All right. Resolution 17R39 honoring Greg Petrie. I'm delighted to be here tonight to give this to Greg because I've had the pleasure and honor of serving with him over the last 14 years. So, whereas Greg Petrie first served as the superintendent of park for the Waukegan Park starting in 1987, and whereas Greg Petrie was promoted to executive director for this organization in 1995, and whereas Greg Petrie created Waukegan Park District's first capital improvement plan and project evaluation process, which completed over $100 million in projects and developed sports facilities with a $15 million annual economic impact on the community. And whereas Greg Petrie led the creation and implementation of Waukegan Park District's first strategic plan, and whereas Greg Petrie's guidance helped the Waukegan Park District to receive state and national recognition for parks, programs, facilities, and professional involvement, and the organization was recognized as an Illinois Distinguished Accredited Agency in 2005, 2011, and 2017, National Parks and Recreation Association Certified Park and Recreation Agency in 2012, and the 2013 National Parks and Recreation Association Gold Medal. And whereas Greg Petrie has also served our community as a member of the Waukegan Economic Development Advisory Board, as the Vice Chairman of the Waukegan Renaissance Commission, and as Chairman of the Project Management Team of Waukegan Sunrise. And whereas Greg Petrie has announced his retirement from the Waukegan Park District after 30 years of dedicated service to Waukegan, and now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Cunningham and members of the City Council of Waukegan, Illinois, do hereby honor Greg Petrie for his distinguished service and dedication to the citizens of Waukegan. Be it further resolved that a suitably embossed copy of this resolution, signed by the mayor and city clerk, be presented to him at the city council meeting the 19th day of June, 2017.
Well, thank you, Mayor Cunningham and City Council members. It's been a great 30 years. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to work with you all. Sam put me on a committee this afternoon. I'm going to take a little break till January 1 and then get back at it some way, somehow, but helping our city, continuing to grow and prosper and make it a great place to live, work, and play. And I want to thank, first of all, my wife is here in the audience and several of our staff members, Teddy Anderson. Claudia Freeman is here. Anybody else from the staff? Well, hold on, I'm getting to him. And last but not least, our new executive director who's going to take my place is Jay Lerner, and he will be carrying. He has assured me he's going to continue to carry the torch and do what needs to be done to sustain the gold medal caliber operation that we have. And I see our other commissioner, George Bridges, is here. I'm sorry. And Commissioner Janet Kilkelly, who's our clerk. They've been tremendous to work with over the years, and it's been a lot of fun. And there's a lot more coming in the city, and it's going to continue to be a lot of fun. So thank you very much for the recognition, and it's been a great honor to be here this evening. Thank you.
Come on, Jay.
Over here it is.
Jay, Claudia, Jay. Am I missing somebody?
Yeah, the last guy did that. This is where it's at. This is the last one. What a photo bomb, buddy. Thank you, sir. Well, you go. All right. Item 5, Public Works Committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. Public Works Committee met this evening. Item A, motion to request authorization to accept the proposal for lakefront environmental containment, sale, operation, and maintenance services, and this will be done by Riverbend Engineering. They've been doing this since its inception, and the cost is not to exceed $33,814, and funds for this project are available in line item 100-7129-24627, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor. Aye.
Item B, motion to request authorization to obtain engineering services from Frank J. Furlan, Consulting Civil Engineer, the rate at $85 per hour as needed for typical duties performed during a normal workday, and I so move.
Second that.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Tempest. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor. Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Next.
Item C, motion to request authorization to enter into a highway authority agreement. The highway authority agreement is for Whitmore Wreckers, and this is for no further remediation letter. And this is to state that there will be no drilling or drudging of any wells in that area of Gulf Road and Greenwood, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor. Aye.
Motion's passed and carried.
Item D, motion to request authorization to extend the current mosquito abatement contract for an amount not to exceed $64,000, and this fund is available in line item 100-9106-24425, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Roll call, please.
Question?
Alderman Taylor.
Will we be contacting the wards when they're actually going to be spraying in their areas for this mosquito?
In the past, we haven't, but I mean, that's something you recommend. I mean, we have no problems doing it.
Yeah, I think maybe we should just put it
Just
up
let
on
them
our
know.
website.
Okay. All right, David, you got that? All right, make sure it's on the website, and we'll get that taken care of, Alderman. Thank you.
Thank
Bring
you.
it to our attention. Yes, ma'am. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
No.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May. Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor. Aye.
Motion's passed and carried.
Item E and F is a little bit connected, but item E is motion to request authorization of contract change for balancing authorization for railroad flagging based on total actual billing. The contract changed for a deduction of $103,770.56. It was previously approved for $325,000, and it actually came in at $221,229.44, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor. Aye.
Motion's passed and carried.
Item F, motion to request authorization for approval of amendments to slip 3, up to number 3, for the Grand Avenue Bridge project, and I so moved. Move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Villalobos. Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried.
Okay, item G, motion to request authorization to award the 2017 annual materials bid. And that was only one bidder, and that was Peter Baker and Son.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Mozio. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Villalobos. Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried.
Item H, motion to request authorization to waive the bid procedure for the purchase of no-lead gasoline and diesel fuel. You need me to read this whole thing I have here?
Do we need to read it out in short? Yes, go ahead and read it.
Okay. Public Works is the gas and diesel fuel supplier not only for the city fleet. We also supply some of the county's fleet as well as Waukegan Township, Waukegan Library, Waukegan Park District, and the school district. At least 3 vendors are contacted for pricing on the day that the fuel is needed, at which point we order from the vendor with the lowest price. We also have an account set up with Olson Oil at their 24-hour fuel depot on Washington Street and Route 41, so that the police department can fuel during the hours that Public Works yards are not open. They are available for service 24 hours a day, 24/7. So the Public Works Department wanted to continue to use the process that they've been using, except for maybe coming back later once we find out a way that we can not have the officers have to go out to 41 to get gas on the weekends when the Public Works Department is closed. So at that time, we can look at other options and then bring it back to the council. So I so move.
Okay. Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Villalobos. Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried.
Item I, motion to request authorization to participate in the online auction. And this is something that we did, I believe, last year. December was the first time we did it. Prior to that, we would go and use the same company and go along with the county auction. And I would so move we go online. We did do pretty good last year in December when we did the auction. So at our next committee meeting, they will give us those numbers on what we made from the sale of those old vehicles. And I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to that motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Villalobos. Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
And that's all you have.
Okay. Item 6, Insurance Committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. Motion authorizing the proper city officials to settle fire department workman compensation claims C64-15-01038-01 and C645-15-10107-01 for a combined total of $30,278.63, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman May. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Villalobos. Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried.
Motion authorizing corporate counsel to assign cases as the need arises to Trobe and Bromowitz and Associates, LLC, Helper Broom Law Firm, and/or Smith Admison Law Firm, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman May. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. There being no old business, reports and communications. Motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Taylor, to approve block party guidelines. Or just, no, just,
It's just information.
okay, just information?
This is information.
All right.
I'm just going to say a little thing. It is summertime. It is the time for block parties. And block parties, we do need an application done. It is on the website. In addition, there's a few things that have to be filled out. You must have 3 of your neighbors sign off on it, and you have to have your alderman sign off on it. And after that is done, you submit it to us, and when it gets passed by the council. So there's a little bit of time frame that's needed on it, and we don't want anyone to miss out on having a community block party. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact our office or, look on the website, but we're here to help you with your block party. That's it.
Your Honor?
Alderman Mozio.
Just as a heads up, if they have a block party, at least for me, contact me, and I'll come over and sign it, or if you forget or whatever, and clerk, if it comes to you, could you make sure?
Well, the alderman has to sign off on it, yes.
But I mean, sometimes we don't know, and then, if the resident doesn't contact us, you know what I mean?
You'll know, because
Okay.
we'll let you know.
That's fine.
If they come to us without your signature,
That's fine, okay.
be
That's
all
fine,
over it.
that's fine.
Okay.
Not that I think, but,
All right, any other questions? Do we need to? This is for information only, everyone. All right, we're going down to item 9, new business. Approval of regular payroll dated June 9th, 2017, in the amount of $1,489,660.59. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Tempest. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May. Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Approval of elected officials' expenses stipend payroll dated June 9, 2017, an amount of $6,141.66. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May. Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion's passed. Item C, approve of police sworn uniform allowance payroll dated June 16, 2017, in the amount of $85,915. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Item D, approval of final cash out payroll dated June 9, 2017, amount of $1,772.83. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May. Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Item E, approval of bills dated June 19th, 2017, in the amount of $1,398,483.30. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome. Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May. Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Item F, motion by Alderman Mozo, second by Alderman Tempest, to approve all block parties. All in favor?
Aye.
Item G, motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Seager, to approve all raffle sales application. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Item H,
Oh, Mayor, I actually, for the approval of the raffles, just want to make notes that the Waukegan Cares Foundation was asking to use the Steiner Pavilion, I think, so we have to make sure that
They were asking to use the Steiner
Because
Pavilion?
if you look at the application itself, it states the date of the raffle is going to be, sorry, I saw this.
Okay. The way it was just, I think what happened is they just, because it's part of, it said a raffle, that was the primary, but if they have that, that's in the date book for, to use the Steiner Pavilion on that date. But we'll get it corrected. We'll make sure it works out.
Okay, yeah, because it was saying on the June 29th, I believe I read it, where it was saying our beach.
Okay.
Yeah, location of drawing to determine the winner, Steiner Pavilion.
Okay.
So that's line 15 on that application.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem. There's a calendar that's downstairs, so everybody knows there's no confusion. All right. Any 87 graduates up here? All right. All right. Motion by Alderman Villalobos, you're the closest. Second by...
Was he born yet?
Yeah, swing. Motion by Alderman Villalobos, second by Alderman Tempest, to approve the use of Steiner Pavilion for class of 1987 high school reunion, August the 12th, 2017, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. This event is sponsored by the Waukegan class of 1987 30-year reunion. The sponsor has applied under the directive for non-city government use, city-owned building and venues. This event has been approved by the Outdoor Special Events Board. Any questions to the motion? We got to do a roll call on that, correct? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman May. Motion to accept and place on file Treasurer's Monthly Report for the month of April and May 2017. Any questions to the motion?
Question.
Alderman Villalobos.
One of the documents listed was a letter of credit regarding Yeoman Creek. Can I get some, I don't know what that's about. Can I get some explanation, please?
Dr. Schwab, could you please explain?
Thank you, Alderman. Letter of credit. Back about 20 years ago, we entered into a consent agreement with a federal judge that said that we would pay approximately a third of the cost of the remediation of Yeoman Creek, where five other disciplines the Park District bought out of their share, leaving 5. The committee meets by phone several times a year to discuss the direction it's going, and one of the things that it's going is the solar panels up on top of it. In the consent decree, we're approximately going to be charged $9 million. We didn't pay it up front. We pay it as we go in the cash calls. Several years ago, our financial assurance to make those payments, we were never late on a payment, we never missed a payment, but under the agreement of the consent decree, the financial assurance were not guaranteed. So we had several years, any 2 years out of 5, that we spend more than 5% above what we take in as a disqualifying event for us. So we had that. We had to declare it. I had to find out some way of providing a financial assurance that we would make these payments. So after looking at several different options, the least expensive was a letter of credit through First Midwest Bank. At the time, our estimated amount still owed as we go, or estimated, would be $2.5 million. Therefore, the line of credit cost us $25,000 a year. Back in September of 2015, that amount, because of them taking the money from OMC, that part that went belly up, but applying it to the potential eventual costs, it got reduced to $1.4 million. Therefore, our letter of credit now costs us, what does it cost? $14,000.
$14,000.
$14,000 and some change a year because of the reduction of the total estimated cost that we may have to pay, even though we have never defaulted and we've never been late. And that's been a concern of mine, that we haven't got relief from the remediation group and the EPA, since our finances have been in a much better shape in the last so many years. So we should qualify for relief of this, but we haven't.
Thank you for the information.
Thank you, Dr. Schwab. Really appreciate that. I know you've been really working hard to make sure that letter of credit get released from us. So hopefully we have some better news about us not being a part of that sometime soon. Thank you. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Steger.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
All right, ordinance and resolutions. And on the first one is the appropriations. Before I put that on the floor, I have a brief statement. City colleagues and members of the community, this evening we have before us the appropriation ordinance for fiscal year 2018. Statutorily required, we must have this ordinance adopted by no later than the end of July. I also want to note that fiscal year 2018 is already underway. In deference to members of the council who rightly stated that we need to move forward, we won't dwell on the circumstance of the budget's delay. We are approving a $126.5 million operating budget for fiscal year 2018. As part of this year's expenditure, funds have been designated for the purpose of city infrastructure assessment. We will evaluate structural integrity of our roads, sidewalks, and bridges, laying foundation for a 5-year capital improvement plan that is more than a document for show, but instead one for action. We will eliminate the wish list item that we cannot afford and will not in the immediate future come to fruition. We must resolve to be fiscally conservative and prudent in our decision making. As part of the fiscal year budget approved through this ordinance, we will start the process of bringing current our 1987 comprehensive land use plan. Our economy has changed since its adoption 3 decades ago. Our city's priorities and directions have changed. Our comprehensive plan is long overdue to change as well. We will maintain the status quo regarding our sworn police officer and fire personnel. There will be an increase, however, there will be an increase in the number of dispatchers. We as duly elected officials are charged with providing for the health, safety, and welfare of not only our residents, but also our employees. I know, and I can state without any hesitation, that everyone here takes this responsibility seriously. To provide for the safety of our fire and police personnel, while also ensuring the responsiveness demanded by our citizens, we will be adding 3 additional dispatchers. I also want to note that the current level of public works personnel will be augmented with seasonal workers who will be charged with the cleanliness and beautification of our community. This is nothing less than a win-win proposition. Beautification while our youth are engaged in serving their community. For anyone who does not think the government hears or listens, let me assure you that we do in fact. This budget, a policy document as well as a financial document, adds a new code enforcement officer. I think that's incorrect. I think that's two code enforcement officers, correct? Team?
One's vacant.
Okay, so there'll be a total of 2 code enforcement officers. Over and over again, meeting after meeting, forum after forum, event after event, the demand for greater code enforcement is clear and cannot be ignored. We often ask, what is it the community wants because we're unsure? The need here has been expressed, leaving little doubt. This leads me to my next item, Voices in our community need to be heard. Our residents need to know that government is truly the vehicle for resolution. Can we please everyone? Certainly not. We are a diverse community with diverse needs, and our job is to provide for the interests of the public as a whole. But we have to know our community needs. We will solicit this input with additional staff to bolster our communications and outreach efforts. We want greatness in our city. We want our image to be one of our community of we want our image to be one of a community of choice. How we present our physical self says much about who we are. When a citizen or visitors come into City Hall or a police department finds it dirty and disarray, what does that say about us? What does it say about our pride? The elimination of vacant maintenance workers' positions as well as existing custodial contract will allow us to bring back in-house our own custodial staff. These personnel will also be charged with non-CDL plowing and light landscaping, some of which is currently outsourced. When outsourcing doesn't work, you have to make a change. Let us be responsible for our image and keeping our physical house in order. In closing, allowing me to say that overall this is a status quo budget, except for some slight adjustment toward progress and improvements. This is the fiscal year 2017 budget that was approved. We as a body have differences in approach, no doubt. Difference can be good and part of a democracy, but what is here is nowhere near absurd or unreasonable, and we need to earnest to move forward with the people's work. We are not dysfunctional as Springfield. It's truth. I respectfully request your affirmative vote. Thank you. With that being said, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman May. You don't want to do that? You don't want to do it? Okay.
I'm going to make that motion.
Okay, I hear you, Alderman Valco. Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Tempest, to approve the annual appropriation ordinance for May 1, 2017 to April 30, 2018 fiscal year. Obviously, there is some questions. Questions? Alderman May. Alderman Taylor. Alderman Taylor had her hand up.
I know we've talked about this often, and I just want to make sure that both with our finance director and with you, Mayor, I have begged and pleaded that Fire Station 2 have the money available for it to run, not as a jump station, but a fully mandated station. For those residents who don't understand the predicament my ward is in, is that fire station can either handle an ambulance call or a fire call, but can't handle both. With the growth that's happening in the 9th Ward with businesses, it is just not fair to our firefighters to expect them to make the calls when, in many cases, they are coming all the way from Belvedere and Jackson. So this has to happen, and at one point, we did have that as a fully mandated station. And for the safety of my residents, I am pleading, please make sure that this happens. It is imperative that my residents have that to them. For instance, the other week I had a call where our police were in danger with, it was a potentially drug overdose. But our own police officers were in danger, and yet our firefighters were coming from other stations to get there. So if I have that promise, Mayor, and from my finance director, I can accept this budget or appropriation. I realize that budgets are a lot like marriages. The best ones are made of compromises. We're not all going to get what we want here. What we're doing is the best that we can do for our residents. This isn't really anybody's budget. What I will not do is do what Springfield has done to us. Like I said, we're not, I don't think anybody is totally happy with everything, but we compromise, we make it work, and I'm willing to make this work. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Valco.
Thank you, sir. I know in the years past, previous, the last maybe 3 or 4, we've passed the appropriations ordinance without really passing a budget yet, and it can be done. In years past, it was the status quo, and we didn't hire hardly anybody if we hired anybody at all. The budgets were the same. So I cannot, until the budget is passed, in all good consciousness, vote for an appropriations ordinance that doesn't have the appropriate budget items that are in it as far as either yes or no. For that, do you want to talk? Because I'm going to make a motion. Do you want to give your spiel?
I don't know what your motion is.
I don't know what your motion is. I guess I'm unclear, Alderman. What are you saying? That we've passed our appropriation essentially is the document that we use in order to operate the city.
That is correct, sir.
And I think I know where you're going. Yeah, right. The appropriation is it, but I think I know where you're going. And I'm gonna give a history lesson here. In the past, it used to be appropriation, then there was a budget that followed. Before you got here, we stopped that. We went to the appropriations, which included the budget, meaning what we wanted to spend in there. That's what we did. I used to bring that very same issue up as First Ward Alderman. Brian Grace was in Corporation Council, Dick Hyde, then Bob Sabanjan, then Mayor Motley. When we passed the appropriation, we essentially passed the budget. That's what we did. What you're now saying is pass the appropriation, correction, go back and pass a budget, then come back and pass the appropriation. This right here has been operating as our budget appropriation over the last at least 8 years, and 2 years prior to that. And before I go there, won't Tina come on up and kind of give us some details on what you're saying? But I hear what you're saying. I'm just telling you, it hasn't been done that way for me at minimum 8 years.
In the state of Illinois, and Corporation Council can jump in on this, there's 2 different types of local governments. We are an appropriation government. So I'm not sure if the city of Waukegan ever adopted a budget in addition to an appropriation, but legally what we're required to adopt is an appropriation ordinance. The appropriation ordinance that's before you is the same dollars as what the proposed budget is. It's not in line item, it's by category, but I'm not aware of a legal requirement to adopt both a budget as well as an appropriation. My understanding is that the budget is a working plan, the appropriation is your legal spending limits. That's why revenues aren't even adopted. Revenues are in the budget as well as expenditures. All that's legally required is the appropriation ordinance to be adopted. The certification of revenues that's included in your packet isn't even presented to City Council for a vote. But I defer to Attorney Long.
No, she's correct. Got to turn my mic on. Yeah, Tina is correct in that, yes, the other form of budget that that you see in the smaller communities around this, they would adopt a budget, but their appropriation ordinance would be 3 or 4 times the amount of their budget, which is kind of a screwy way to do it. And the reason they do it is to make sure that they have adequate spending authority. But their appropriations is a very different thing than the statute we follow, where our appropriations much more closely track our actual planned expenditures. So in essence, by adopting an appropriations, you're adopting a budget as a component of it, and it's a spending plan as well as, and really takes the place of what they do in the other smaller communities.
Thank you, sir. And that would be that's my point.
Okay.
The appropriations has got the proposed budget in it with the new hires, the employees and everything else. There are myself and possibly some others that don't agree with that budget. So why would I pass an appropriations that includes the budget that I don't want? That's what I'm saying.
Your Honor?
So, before I get cut off or I lose my train of thought here, my motion tonight would be to postpone this, this motion to a time certain, which would be when we pass the budget, and that would be my motion.
Your,
There's a motion on the floor. Let's talk to the, all right.
It's
Can you hold off on the motion?
Absolutely, sir.
Hold off on the motion we had. Alderman May was next, now coming to you, Alderman Mozio. Is that okay?
I was going to be 2 seconds. Is that
All right,
just a question?
Alderman Mozio.
For clarification for the public maybe, is the appropriations, Tina, is it one lump sum or is it by line item and by category? So when we
Okay.
approve the appropriations, is it 126.5 million that we can spend, or is it we have to spend it in these categories?
It's by category.
Okay.
Within fund.
Okay.
So there is categories within a department.
Right.
That's kind of blinding me. Can you move that? Thank you. There's departments within, categories within departments within funds.
Okay.
So for example, the building department has the categories of personnel services for $973,000, benefits $369,000, et cetera. So then you have a total for the building department, you'd have a total for each department, and then the general fund total from there. So it is not line item like the proposed budget detail, but it is
so in other
by
words,
category.
For like the example you just gave, that's all the money we can spend, $973, 973, whatever it was, on, was it salaries? You
Correct.
said?
We
Salaries?
can, correct. And we may do transfers between. That has to come back to City Council, and we do that every year. We do an appropriation transfer. So if the building department goes a little higher in their benefits than what was allocated, but they have savings in the salaries, we would do an appropriation transfer that has to come back to City Council. So the spending authority is limited by appropriation.
Right.
To Mr. Long's point, in other municipalities, Wadsworth, take it for an example, since we met with the mayor of Wadsworth today, they would have a budget, and I believe he said, if not 200%, the appropriation ordinance is 300%, I think is what he said. I don't know if you remember. It's 300% of their budget. So even though the village board adopts the budget, what's actually legally restricting their spending is 3 times the budget. Our appropriation is the exact same dollar amount as the proposed budget. The proposed budget is not, it's not adopted by itself. Does that help?
I just wanted some, maybe some clarification for everybody out there and understand the difference between appropriations and the budget.
Tina, don't go, because Alderman May doesn't have it there. I got some questions for you.
All right, are we going back to Alderman Valco? Alderman Valco? Or Alderman May?
Since you're up there.
Yeah, go ahead, Alderman Valco.
Do you have
Go
questions
ahead.
for Tina?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Alderman Valco?
Thank you, sir. Tina, even though the appropriation, they're done in different sections, they're not line item by line item,
Category.
isn't it true that some of the funds have been either increased or decreased from the actual budget?
There were a few corrections made between line items. The fire department actually did go up a little bit because there was a typo in one of their sick time cash out. Their union contract allows for cash out of sick time upon retirement. That was typed in as 15,000. It was increased to 150. So the offsetting of that was taken out of the central services in the general fund. So there were no large-scale changes that were outside of the fund categories.
Okay. I'm also looking at the library, up 163.
Right, again, that was an error in data entry. What the library sent over was 1,700 for a category, I forget what it was, and it should have been 17,000. So we took an offsetting deduction out of one of the CDBG line items. But it's all within the same fund type.
I had either saw or heard, but I think I saw someplace the garbage refuge went down 163 or 130,000.
That's where then we took the correction for the library. I said CDBG, it would have
So
been
they-
refuse. All within special revenues.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, Alderman Valco, is that it, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Alderman May.
Thank you, Your Honor. So while we have a $2.5 million deficit budget in front of us, and I understand, and that's very difficult, I think, for all of us to consider. But a couple of things I want to point out. This administration didn't create the problems that are before us, so we all know that. This is, there's not like extraneous spending going on in this budget. There's a 33% jump in pension costs this year, this fiscal year, from last year. That's a huge amount of money for us to absorb without passing a deficit budget, okay? So let me start there. But when we're being asked to pass a deficit budget, we shouldn't be adding things, we should be subtracting things, okay? So while there's some things that are way out of our control, like a really bad budget on the Grand Ave Bridge project that moved all these people, and I talked about it for a year, from the MFT fund into the general fund, which really put us behind the 8 ball this year. And so, you're behind, you were given a very monumental task here. But at the same time, I'm looking at, we're adding things to the budget when we should be tightening our belt and bearing down. I understand, in our budget, $100,000 is nothing, and $100,000 here is nothing, and $250,000 is nothing. Well, you got to start somewhere. So I have a problem with adding positions, adding 4 custodial positions when we know it's less expensive to contract out. Is it the best situation? No. Does someone need help? Yes. So then let's just increase the scope of service with our custodial contract and get a little more help there. I would love to bolster Public Works, but when we're looking at a $2.5 million budget deficit and a projected $5 million deficit budget next year, this is not the time to add stuff. 2 community liaison positions to reach out to the community. I don't know, I've always thought that was my job. To reach out to my community and to keep my community informed, and I think that I work really hard at that. There were some positions that were moved, some high-level positions that were moved, but they weren't eliminated. And so now you need help in the mayor's office, and I get that. And that's why the Director of Government Services is in the budget, and I understand that. And no mayor should have to sit alone up in that office. You need help every day to manage everything, and I get that. But you added a position. You didn't exchange someone out. I'm not suggesting anyone. You got to cut some heads if you want to bring in your own people. But you are in the seat. I appreciate summer workers. I appreciate summer workers so much. I appreciate beautification. That's how I got into politics, because I used to pick up garbage. So I understand those things. They're great things for a city to hire our youth and keep that kind of stuff going. But when you're facing a deficit budget, you don't add things, you subtract things. When you're think about your household, things are going to be really tight this year. You don't purchase that new car, and you don't. You fire you don't have someone come clean your house anymore. You got to do it yourself, or cut your lawn. You got to do it yourself. There's things that you got to tighten the belt. So I do agree with adding a code officer, though, because they can probably generate their own salary in the city. So those are my problems. This isn't the first time I'm discussing them. I know I've conveyed my thoughts to you, Mayor, and to Tina on where I stand. It's not $2.5 million worth of cuts in what I'm speaking of, but there is some trimming that could be done, and that's why in its current state, I can't approve this current budget. And I would go ahead and approve the appropriation if there weren't so many positions in there, because then I don't know, I think that's out of our control then, unless there's a salary ordinance has to be, the salary ordinance has to come in play at some point here, doesn't it, if we're adding all these positions?
The salary ordinance will come through Labor Relations Committee. The appropriation ordinance sets the spending level.
Right, I get that.
So we can say that we're going to add Bozo the Clown in the the budget, in the salary, and the appropriation ordinance. If that doesn't exist in the salary ordinance for non-union positions at least, then those positions can't be filled. So you need both the funding, and you also need the title to exist in either one of our collective bargaining agreements or the salary ordinance. And internally, we have a process before a vacancy is filled, whether it's a new position, a position opened by retirement, or from some other type of employee termination, that the department first submits that request to finance. We verify the funding, and then it goes to HR to verify that the title exists in either a collective bargaining or salary ordinance. Some of the titles that are in the current proposal would need to be added to the salary ordinance.
But the 4 custodial positions are open maintenance workers out at the Public Works Department, so there would not need to be a salary ordinance in order for those positions to be filled if we approve the appropriation.
Currently, I don't know if Tamika's here. No. So currently, what we're calling custodian positions really would be laborers, which fall under the Local 150 Public Works collective bargaining agreement. So they would be hired in under that title and that salary schedule.
And there are 4 open positions, correct?
There's 4 open maintenance worker positions in the sewer department currently that are proposed to be cut in order to fund these lower cost
Which have been
labor
open.
positions.
They're not, no one's getting fired. They've been open for years.
Right. They've been
open
held
for
vacant,
years.
I guess I should say. They've been held vacant, correct.
Okay, so thank you, that clarifies. And so, for the reasons I spoke of, Mayor, I just feel like we need to sharpen the pencil a little bit on a few of these items before I'll be able to vote in support of this budget. Thank you.
Comments?
Alderman Villalobos.
Thank you. So I've also had some conversations with you, Mayor, and with our finance director regarding the budget. And I understand that from this dialogue, passing the appropriation isn't, well, it's kind of it goes hand in hand with passing the budget. There are definitely some budget item lines that I had issue with, particularly again, and this was because it was flagged at council and flagged at the public forum that we had regarding our budget, was this custodians. To me, I don't understand why we need 4 people for long-term planning is more expensive than our outsourcing currently. And again, going back to our present state with this budget of a deficit, I don't understand why we would want to add on more costs going forward. So I would like to see some changes to the budget in those regards and some of that. From my understanding, I can say yes to the appropriation, but no to the budget in a sense, by just vocally saying I don't like this particular piece of the budget. So I would like to see us not have those custodial roles created in the budget.
I'm going to be very clear, very, very clear. Those particular roles are needed in a facility this size. They're needed. They are needed. Alderman May pointed out something. Let's break this thing down so we all understand. 14, 15, how many bodies? 15 bodies that were moved from the motor fuel tax? Pushed into then the general fund? That's roughly about 1.5, 1.6 million. There's part of your 3 million. We chose to not put those bodies back into the motor fuel tax and leave them in the general fund. Now, we could have been operating in the same way we in the past. Take the hit now. Deal with it right now. The other portion of that, we're looking at monies that we had to pay, whether we liked the bridge or didn't like the bridge, we had to pay it. That's $1 million. That's $2.5 million. So, ladies and gentlemen, aldermen, I hear what you're saying. I wish we could have traded this for something different. What you want me to do? Put it back in the motor fuel tax so it looks good? No, let's deal with what we have in front of us and then manage from there. We have other great things in this budget that's going to give us the opportunity to plan ahead. That's what's more important to me than anything. Remind everybody, this budget should have been passed May 1 before I even took this seat. Thank you, Alderman May, for pointing that out. Fact of the matter is, I'm here. It's mine. Deal with it, Sam. And I'm dealing with it the best way I know how. Planning today for the future. Planning today for the future is now. There's nothing we could do. It's the only way, everybody, Alderman, we all know this, the only way to truly cut our budget is get rid of bodies in the budget. That's the only way. 88 to 89% of our budget is salaries and benefits. Typically, the average is about 70 to 75% of your budget should be salaries and benefits. We're almost at 90%. So the hiring wasn't done today. The hiring's been done over the last 10 or 15 years. It's because it's because we've taken those 15 bodies that was in the motor fuel tax. We hit them. That's simply what happened. We hit them. And then we were hiring real bodies in the general fund. Now we're making those corrections. It hurts. But we have to deal with those things. Now, if you have other ways of generating revenue to balance the budget for today, right now, do it. But our goal right now is to keep us going. And I assure you, there isn't one department head that's going to be looking at overspending or doing things outside. I will be held responsible for that. And I want you to hold me responsible for that. But today, right now, we must get on with the city's business. And this is city's business. Everyone is not going to, I didn't like it. You tell me one person up here would want to take the seat where you had come at a negative $3 million. Not one person up here.
Well, maybe one.
Touche. And how do you follow that, right?
I love the levity.
I love it. I love it. And you know, and I think that's how we have, at least as an alderman, I've been a part of this over 18 years. That's how we've gotten through this. This too shall pass, but it's going to take us to move forward. It's going to take us to move forward. I'm not placing blame on anyone. I'm just telling you it is what it is, and let's move forward. And this is the time. So I respect, I've been in that seat before. I respect the comments that the aldermen are saying. I respect that. I will always respect that. I've learned the hard way, being a legislator is very difficult. But I'm here to tell you, in 30-some days, being an administrator, it's even more difficult. But I asked for it. I wanted it. Here it is. With that being said, I don't know if there's any more. Alderman Taylor.
I also would like to point out that, you know, there are things that residents can help us with along the way. One of the things we need so bad, and everybody complains about, is code enforcers. If residents took care of their property, we wouldn't need so many code enforcers. I actually had a business tell me the other week, well, you should find me. You should know when you come to the city of Waukegan what we expect. I shouldn't have to find you. You understand when you come into this city that we expect you to keep it clean. So work with us and help us. Like I said, this is just one small area that you can help. Take care of your property. I don't need to have a code enforcer take time to go and tag your door to cut your grass when that's your responsibility. Please work with us.
You know, to Alderman Taylor's point, there is a program, a project that's being headed up by Planning and Zoning. Mr. Mike Patel, I think, is taking on this project. He's included code enforcement. He's also included Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and more is going to come, but it's in reference to what you're saying, Alderman. I mean, there are some things we're going to engage the community in helping with this city. The legislators have an obligation. Obviously, the chief administrator, being myself, have an obligation, but that obligation also falls on these homeowners. We know some of you are doing a great job out there, but there are some who are being irresponsible. And we need your help to bring them in compliance. But right now, we have to deal with what we have in front of us today. And that is moving forward with preparing Waukegan for its greatness. And it's going to be tough. But Alderman Mosio said one time, we're Waukegan tough. We can handle it. It might be slower than we anticipated, but we can handle it. And I'm here to tell you, I'm ready. I'm ready to handle it. With that being said, I'm asking for a roll call on this appropriation.
No,
Oh, sorry. There's a motion. Okay, there is a motion on the floor to
postpone to time certain the appropriations ordinance until the salary ordinance and the budget is passed. We can get back to it.
When is this?
Real quick, when will we do the salary ordinance, Tina? Would that be after?
Yeah.
I just want to clarify, we don't adopt the budget. So I'm not sure how we can accommodate that motion. The salary ordinance will go to Labor Relations Committee when that's scheduled by the mayor.
Okay.
That's really an HR function. I'm not sure when that's going to come forward.
Okay. Real quick, Your Honor, a couple quick.
Alderman Mosio.
I myself have a hard time passing a budget that's in the deficit, but, you know, we've sort of put ourselves here, and it can be a bit of a hard sell to the taxpayers if you've added even one position, even one like we need, which I think everybody would say we need another code enforcer. That's been the ongoing theme, that you need more code enforcers, especially somebody that works, we can structure it, where they work on the weekends or at least Saturday. You know, what we've talked about that. Maybe it would. We don't have to have this done to July. I know that puts a lot of people at angst, you and the department heads and people, but if I don't want to see division up here with the council on something that we don't have to have done today. I think we all know the problems. I think maybe if we could talk through it a little bit. I've talked to Tina, I've talked to you just a little bit, I've talked to other aldermen, but if other aldermen are not comfortable with this at this time, then, I mean, I would be prepared to wait. But, you know, if the majority wants to go forward, that's up to them. I still have some questions, and like I said, I have to digest the fact that we're going to be 2.5 or 2.6, you know, in the negative. And again, that's not blaming anybody. We know, we've all gone over that. It is what it is. But if we're going to fight this problem together of $2.5 million in the negative, I'd rather do it with everybody on board, at least to some extent, to be able to move things forward. That's just my opinion. I don't want to move forward with this if we have some aldermen that just are not comfortable with where we're at right now, because I don't want to get divided, and we already have enough problems with $2.5 million, $2.5 million in the negative. So if we could hold it over or table it, whatever the correct thing would be, I would feel more comfortable with that. But if you force a vote, then we force a vote. But I'd feel more comfortable with letting all the aldermen become more comfortable with it. And every alderman might have a different thing they got to become comfortable with, but I don't know what it is. I haven't talked to all the aldermen, but I've talked to most of them. So, I mean, that's how I feel about it right now. And that's not kicking the can down the road. It's got to get done. But again, if I'm going to go into a fight, I want to know I got at least some people, most of the majority of the people with me in the fight. That's all.
And I certainly understand that. However, Alderman, you know, I considering from positions to positions. If you take away those positions, we're still 2 million, 2.5 million in the hole. So, I mean, there's only one way to resolve this issue of a negative deficit. I'm sorry? Yeah, there's only one way to really do this, and that's start eliminating positions. I mean, that's where we're at. That's simply where we're at. And I know that you and others that was not in the cards to do. And I just believe that I can work with all of you, as I have in the past, to get the appropriations passed tonight. And in some things I know you certainly spoke with me about. I'm very open to that. Very, very open to that. But I believe that this right here needs to get past us to move on. That's Alderman Tempest.
May I comment? History lesson. You know, it boils down to one simple thing. If you don't appropriate it, you can't spend it. It doesn't mean you have to spend it, but it gives you a little room to maneuver. So I think it's important that you pass the appropriation order, and it gives us time to maneuver and see how things are going to flow in. But if you don't appropriate it, you can't spend it. It's that simple. Am I right, Counselor?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know, a little earlier on, items under the Public Works Committee, to the extent that all those contracts that were just approved this evening, to the extent that you don't appropriate for them, we can't actually execute the contracts, we can't spend the money. Although the contract's approved, it's going to have to sit there until the appropriations ordinance is adopted, and then it will become effective, but not until then. That's one of the reasons that, you know, it's preferable to have the appropriations ordinance in place before you have contracts for the next year, but, you know, that's where you end up.
Your Honor.
You're quite right, Alderman Tempest.
Alderman May.
Thank you. Alderman Tempest, I take your point, and I understand that, and I know we do have to, anything over a certain dollar amount, we're going to have to approve as we go along, but once the positions are in there, then they exist. And we're adding positions while we're facing at least more than likely a 2-year deficit budget. I would like to see, you know, I would love to believe that like bridge development's going to take off and our permit fees are going to be up and things are going to be so much better next year. You know, I want to believe that, but I'm not willing to gamble that and add positions. You know, I understand, you know, Mayor Sabanjan came in here and he cut a lot of staff, but he, you know what he also did is he got this budget in line. You know, Mayor Motley had the pleasure of a balanced budget for the hard work and the hard decisions that the former mayor had to make. I'm not saying that you should come through here and eliminate positions, but if you're going to just move people around and then add more, and some of them are high-level positions. We're just getting heavier and heavier, and I don't think that's something, I mean, so I'm willing to compromise, I'm willing to talk, but there's, you know.
Alderman Taylor, I beg to differ. Nothing is high level. There's no high-level position when you...
Director,
I'm sorry.
Director of Government Services is a high-level position.
That's been in the budget for the last 15 years.
But that person still exists and is now in a different department, and now you're adding another person.
No, okay.
Well, isn't that what happened?
No, ma'am. That's not what's
The
happening.
person who's been the Director of Government Services.
That was not the position that person had.
But that was the title under which she was
wasn't.
appropriated?
No, it might have been appropriate, but that wasn't her title.
I understand, but let's say there's a senior level person in the mayor's office, has been moved to another place, and now you're going to bring in a new senior level person at the mayor's office.
Alderman May, and we can all certainly talk, but there is a position that we're going to be making sure that that person has, that's going to move our city forward. So I get your point, but at this particular point in time, we need to appropriate. I mean, that's just, I don't know where this is, I mean, we've been here before. I've been here before. Either we do what Bob Sabanjan II did, or we don't. I mean, that's the bottom line of what we have here. You want a balanced budget, and the only way to get a balanced budget is to cut jobs. That's the bottom line.
Mayor, I respect what you're saying, and I'm not even suggesting that you're going to be able to shave $2.5 million off without cutting people. And I'm not even saying that you have to shave $2.5 million, but what I'm saying is don't add positions when we're facing a deficit budget. Or if you're going to add a high-level position, I'm not, you know, it's...
I understand.
It's got to be even. It's not even. You're adding positions.
I understand. I understand. Alderman Mosey.
One more comment.
Yes, sir.
Along the same lines, Alderman made me think a little bit. You do that, and like you said, we have some positions that have been added. Next year, if it's worse, those positions are done. They'll be the first to go, obviously. I mean, by union contract, it's last hired, first to go. Am I right? I'm pretty sure on that one. So they'd be going. Any of these other positions that were added this year, I'm sure are going to be, if our deficit is as bad as we think it might be, they'd be gone too. Even the non-union, I'm sure all the aldermen would be like, no, that's if we hire, you know, we'd probably follow the same protocol we did with the unions. And we have to think about that too. That if it comes to next year and we have that situation in front of us, and we do have to cut bodies, which I know nobody up here wants to do it. Most of us have been up here when we had to do it, and it is not easy when we have to cut bodies. We did it before, but we had to do it. So we have to also think about that down the road for next year. If we're in bad shape,
Alderman, I understand that.
Wait, these people that are, these positions now will be the first to go. They'll have no choice. I mean, I just want people to understand that. Mayor Honor, I just want people to understand that will happen next year if we're in this bad a shape or worse next year.
Well, then, if that's where you're at, you need to start cutting right now. So don't. You need to start cutting right now, because believe me, from the positions, 4 of them, we're just switching the names. So there's not a lot of positions being added. So if you're going to start talking about cutting, you need to start today. Don't start a year from now, start today. If we're going to work through this entire budget process, then we work through it, not just today, but over the next 5 years. And part of this budget is an assessment of our operations. That's how you start cutting. We haven't done an assessment of our operations. I got 18 years as an alderman. We have not done an assessment of our entire operations in over 18 years. Now that we want to do the assessment, you're saying, cut it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're planning today for the future. That's where we're at. Either we want to do it or we don't. I'm prepared to move forward. I'm prepared to work with the aldermen as I have in the past to move our community past where we're at today. But we don't know where we're at. We haven't known where we're at. We've just been spending, cutting, without having any plans in place for tomorrow. And right now, tomorrow is all we have to look for. No fault of anybody. That's just how Sam Cunningham believes that fiscal responsibility is knowing where you're at. Tonight, we commended Mr. Greg Petrie in the Park District. I think it was 2011, 2017. They were the gold medal winners. That's because the Park District planned out every action that was going on throughout the city of Waukegan over the last 20 years. Starting in my area on the south side of town. We spent $14 million on roads. $14 million. Can't nobody up here tell me what the plan is for the next 5 years? That's an assessment that needs to be done. Let's do these things, guys. I hear what you're saying. I feel the pain. But the pain is only going to get worse if we don't plan for the future. You're looking at a few bodies. What about all the assessments that's in there is going to give us direction on what we can and cannot do in the future? No one has talked about that. That's what I want to talk about. Because that is what's going to happen come June, come January, when all of these assessments come back, and then we can lay out a 5-year plan so we'll know when we're going in the 1st through 9th ward. If we need bodies for the police and fire department, we can budget for those things. But the wish list is coming up. I need 2 police officers. I need 2 firemen. I need 2 public works. I need a fire truck. I need 10 units for police, 3 trucks for public works. That just doesn't come up on 1 year. That has to be planned out. That's what I'm trying to do, is plan this out. Not for me, for us. I wish I was able to give you a different outlook. I can't, unless I go to the alternative. It has been clear that that's not the road we want to travel. So the road we have to travel is this road here. It's unpleasant. It's not the road that most of us will take for success, but it is what it is. I am prepared to move forward, to put this on a vote tonight, so we can begin to plan our future. And that's where I'm at.
Your Honor, could I just have one last statement?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll
Yeah,
promise quiet.
yes,
So
ma'am.
I support your assessment. I support that thing, but there's not an engineer in your budget. There's 4 custodians. You know, I know there's an engineering contract. But I'm just saying, you know, like, then we're.
Let me help you out.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about don't add bodies. I'm not saying let's dump your assessment.
No.
I'm not saying that we can cut $2.5 million here, take our pencils out and cut $2.5 million. I'm just saying don't add bodies.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I applaud, appreciate the strategic planning piece of it, and will not stand in your way on that.
Okay.
So I also am about planning for the future.
Thank you.
But I'm not about adding bodies when we're facing a deficit budget.
And
then I will quit.
I understand. I understand. And I certainly don't mean to cut you off as being rude, but yeah, thank you. You know, I do want to address your engineering. Not only myself, but our department heads. To bring an engineer into this community today, for he or she to have to put this into a department, we can't pay them enough. Can't. So the alternative is using Mr. Furling, who has, Frank, I hope, where's the media? Don't write this now. Frank know where everything is buried at. And he does. So let's utilize that wisdom, along with some assessments going to do with outside engineering firms, to get us to a point where we can bring the right person in to move us forward. But to try to bring them in now, it'll just cost us too much. You're talking about high level. That's beyond high level. But I hear what you're saying. But tonight, I'm asking you, let's appropriate it. Let's get this off our document. I know this not from a trust factor. I am committed to moving this community taking it to the next. I'm committed to that. God knows I have spent 16 years. I'm not going to stop now. But if that is your wish as alderman, then as I have in the past, I say vote your conscience and move on. But we need to know, department heads need to know what their future is going to be like. And tonight, for me, is tonight. Okay? With that being said,
No,
the motion is to approve the annual appropriation ordinance for May 1, 2017 to April 30, 2018 fiscal year. And there's a motion by Alderman Tempest, second by Alderman Seeger. Roll call, please.
Whoa, I was going to make a motion, sir, to stop it.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Can we have clarification on what the motion is?
Yeah.
One more meeting?
No, I want to make sure. All right, Bill, what are you actually
The
saying?
motion should read, this is the appropriations ordinance is
Yes.
being held over time certain till the salary ordinance and the budget is completed.
See, that's where we're having trouble because we have two different moving parts there. One is the time certain, which you haven't said. So I don't know when that is, and the clerk won't be able to schedule the motion for a hearing. And the second part is, as the finance director indicated, we don't pass a separate budget. So your motion isn't clear. Let me just put it that way. I'd like a date certain, we can pick a date certain right now. An event that is going to happen, the salary ordinance, you could, if that's the one factor, but we need something more certain or we won't be able to put it on and schedule it for hearing. We do know that the statute says it has to be done by the end of July.
Correct, July 31st, sir.
So somewhere between here and there.
All right. Depending on what, Madam Clerk, do you have a calendar in front of you, ma'am? Do you have one here?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what are we asking? I'm not looking to amend. I'm going with the budget that I have, so vote your conscience. Right? Vote your conscience right now. I mean, I know what my goal and objective was. That's where it's at, and we move from there. So if, I want to make sure, Bill, are you asking to hold the appropriations over?
Yes, sir.
Or you want to hold it over? And there's a second on the floor.
Wait. I'm not going to second all that crazy business about the salary ordinance. So you're saying even if we held it over, there's not going to be any amendments? This is the budget that we...
This is the budget I'm presenting, ma'am.
So you're not going to present us with any options to amend? Is it in our hands?
I'm saying to you, this is what I'm presenting. I'm not here to fight with the aldermen or debate with the aldermen about. These are things that's needed to move this community forward. Period. I'm asking you to approve the appropriations. Approve the appropriations. There's a first and a second on the floor right now to postpone, or not postpone, but to hold over the appropriation. That's what you're asking, Bill?
Correct, to postpone to time certain. Hold over to the next meeting, sir.
You can table it then.
Would that be July 5th?
You can table it.
When is the next city council meeting? Is it July 5th? Because
July 3rd,
Well, that's not
July
good.
3rd is the schedule.
July 3rd.
Yeah.
Not willing to amend it. So either we propose our amendment and our colleagues take it, or...
All right, Mayor, so we're all on it, and citizens there, this is what happens, believe me. Unfortunately, we're over $2 million in debt because, and I keep getting this wrong, ma'am, is it the state or the Department of Insurance that upped our pension contributions by a couple of $1 million?
I think that's a real short, easy answer to it. I would say it's a combination of
Right, but I mean,
escalating
that-
salaries and years of
Correct.
underfunding and
Correct.
poor investment returns, so I wouldn't blame the
All right,
whole issue there.
All right, I was going to propose, Mayor, that a motion to amend this without 7 different positions. I listened to our first speaker tonight and said, you got to live within your budgets. You have to live within your means. And Alderman May has said consistently this evening and in prior occasions that we're not doing a status quo here, we're adding positions. So I would like to have another budget meeting to get this straightened out.
Your Honor.
There was a question on the floor, I'm sorry, there was a question, hold on a second. What does the new positions total, roughly?
The FTE, the full-time equivalents, is 8.5 positions. That does include the beach rangers. They are across all different funds. I really am not comfortable giving a number right off the top of my head because it'll be printed and then it'll be wrong. So it's 8.5 positions increase across all funds. Some of the positions that are proposed to be added include the dispatchers, which are in a special revenue fund. So it's 8.5 positions overall, including part-time.
Okay, so
Question.
yeah, Alderman Taylor.
Were there actually 3 or 4 custodial staff being added? Because I thought we were using, to add another code enforcer, we were taking one of the custodial staff away.
I understand that that was potentially being discussed among some of the aldermen, but that was not formally presented.
Okay.
Well, I
And
can,
the
I can say.
maintenance, the maintenance workers, the laborers would be placed into the general fund, which would be the most appropriate place to show them because that's where the majority of their work would be taking place. The maintenance workers, for whatever reason, were held vacant by a previous department head. We're in the sewer department, which is in the enterprise funds, Fund 555. So those do wash each other. That's 4 for 4. But I just wanted to clarify that that was 2 different funds, and I can't answer why they were held vacant for years, but they were.
So now, Mayor, did I just hear you say that you're talking about 3 custodial staff?
Yes, yeah, I spoke with Alderman Mozio, and I agree with that assessment, that adding another code enforcement and taking away, I was going to do that anyway. That was a suggestion that he had made, and I had no problem with that, but yeah. Yeah, code enforcement, we have a new, not a new, but a different approach of what we're going to be doing in code enforcement, and we're going to need that.
And how many will we have? 8 or 7? 7.
Oh, what do we have right out? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'd be close to 9.
I'm trying to follow what's going on. So now we're talking about
The code enforcement
3
officers currently.
laborers and adding 2 new code enforcement officers?
Yes.
Well, we would be filling one spot vacated. and
We have a
just
current
add-
vacancy.
just
The
add
current
one.
proposal is to add 1, but now we're saying the proposal would be to add 2.
No, just one, right?
No, 1.
Okay, the current proposal is the currently funded code enforcement officers, which includes 1 vacancy due to a code enforcement officer passing away.
Right.
And then adding a new position on that. And then 4 laborers that would perform custodial services. Am I tracking that now we're saying 3 laborers to provide custodial services and then 2 new code enforcement officers, not just 1? That would bring our code enforcement officers number to 9. And then we also have a code enforcement supervisor who I believe does do some code enforcement. So we would go from 7 to 9 code enforcement officer positions.
One in each room.
One in each ward.
That was. So I mean, there's just certain things we were going to be, we're planning on doing along with this. So,
Your Honor, in the essence of time movement forward, and I'm not saying that correctly, everybody wants to get this done, including myself. My problem is, we're looking at the appropriations, the budget is going to come off the appropriations, and I know it's going to happen. I've heard before, numerous occasions in the past years, I heard it tonight, 125, 150%, 300% from Wadsworth, that they just allocate money so they have the money. We don't do that here. We've never done that before, 125, 150%.
But
to
we're
make-
not doing that, Alderman.
Huh?
We're not doing that.
No, that's what I said, we've never done that.
Okay.
No. But we would never even think about doing that.
Right.
But I can tell you for sure, if we pass this appropriations tonight, that budget's gonna go into effect. I know it. So to be fair with everybody, because I hear pros and cons of, I can see it, Alderman Mosio spoke, Alderman Taylor spoke, Alderman May spoke, that we're supposed to be on a fiscally, we're supposed to be on a plane where we're supposed to have everything in order and stuff. We just can't, we're supposed to have our ducks in a row. We're supposed to live within our means and our budgets. I can't go along with the budget, as you well know. You and I have discussed it, sir. That I will withdraw my motion because, as the Corporation Council says, that I could pick a date right here. I could pick the 3rd. I could pick the week at the next council meeting after that. As long as we have it done by the 31st, we're okay. But I will withdraw my motion, and I will make a new motion. And I heard you say that you didn't want to make any amendments. But my motion's going to be, Madam Clerk, you've got that I'm withdrawing my motion? Got it?
Yes.
Okay.
We got it.
The new motion will be, I would be in favor of the appropriations ordinance with the deletion of the Director of Governmental Services, the 2 community liaison officers, and the 4, which is now 3 janitors. And with those deletions, I would vote for your appropriations ordinance. And that would be my motion for an amendment to the appropriations ordinance.
Well, then we have to get rid of our 3rd deputy chief. We have to get rid of our... Okay.
I go back to my original point, Your Honor.
Yeah,
And I would feel better if we tabled this. I do not want to go...
We shouldn't be doing this, guys. We shouldn't be doing this up here. We shouldn't
I
be
know
doing
we
this.
shouldn't, Sam.
Yeah, but
Oh, excuse me, Mayor.
And it's not even my budget. This is a budget was inherited to me by somebody else that you was the chairman of.
Your Honor, I would...
You was the finance chairman.
Don't.
You were the finance chairman of this, Bill.
First time I saw that, sir, is when it was brought forward to me.
Okay, I mean, you're trying to say that you want this cut neck. The way to eliminate these, let's step back. You say eliminate the 3. These were maintenance positions taken from one fund. That's a wash. So you're not eliminating any positions.
Those were vacancies that had, those were positions that had been vacant for how many?
5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years.
Okay, well, leave them in the budget. It's still the same,
I don't know
Bill.
why they were left in the budget.
Well, they've been there for the last 8 years.
Okay, but the 2 community liaisons and the Director of Governmental Affairs was not in there.
It was, Bill. Bill, I've been up here 18 years. Don't tell me the Director of Governmental Services hasn't been there. We have not filled the position, but it was appropriated, so don't tell me it wasn't.
Your Honor.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I believe
Again,
we would need to pass this budget, folks. Pass the appropriations. Pass the appropriation as it is.
Come back before us.
I mean, pass the appropriation as it is, folks. I appreciate you taking the hold over, but I'm asking you to pass this appropriation as it is. The reality of it is, the only way for us to skimmy this, you're gonna pass a negative budget. Living in your means, that's fine, but you're gonna pass a negative. If you take those out, you're gonna pass a negative budget. So I don't get what you're talking about. Let's live within our means. We're not living in our means. We have been living in our means for the last 8 years. So and let's be clear, even with Bob Sabanjan, we passed a bond in order to get out of the hole. So we haven't been living in our means. We're beginning the steps of learning how to live in our means. That's what we're doing. And please, no one take my voice as a level of frustration. It's just a level of understanding. We have not been living in our means for the minimum 8 years. 14 years. And let's be clear, 14 bodies was in the wrong fund. If we'd have put those same bodies in the correct fund, then we would have had a deficit a long time ago. We chose to do it right. Be fiscal responsible. Learn to live within our means. Here we are. Folks, gentlemen, ladies, it is what it is. Either you don't want a negative deficit and go through the hard things of cutting, talking to police, talking to fire, going to public works, going to central services. And don't blame this on these part-time positions in the summertime with kids. Don't blame that. That has nothing to do with where we're at right now. Where we're at right now is the inability for us living within our means over the last 8, maybe 14 years, and trying to bring that back into perspective. That's where we're at. It's a hard pill to swallow. Very hard pill to swallow. I ask all of us up here, and put myself back in the First Ward. If you'd have known we were spending money for motor fuel tax for bodies, would you have voted for the budget then? The answer is no. You know you wouldn't have voted for it. No, we did not know it.
Sure you did.
Yeah.
Why didn't we hold up the budget then?
We didn't have the alderman count.
Motor fuel tax to pay for employees.
Yeah, well, now we're going to use the motor fuel tax for infrastructure over time.
That's great.
Okay, well, it's just, listen,
If we didn't have the problem on the bridge, there wouldn't have been a deficit in the motor fuel tax fund, and we probably would still be continuing on that road.
I agree with you. No, maybe it would be a positive, much more money in there today than it is right now. So we all know that. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at, folks. I'm ready to call for a vote, up or down. Then go over it again.
If Alderman Mosio doesn't want to hold it over, I'm going to make a motion to amend, just so we can get this out in the open. Alderman Mosio, you want to make your motion to hold it over, or no?
I prefer to vote on it now, up or down.
Okay.
Go up or down.
I'll make my motion to amend the appropriations ordinance, and then if it fails, we can vote up or down. The motion to amend the appropriation ordinance without the Director of Governmental Services, the 2 community liaison, and the 3 custodians or janitors, whatever you want to, since we're down. Well, I thought you said was down to 3.
The laborers.
4, okay. So we're talking about 4, 6, 7 people.
Yeah, give me those positions again.
The Director of Governmental Services, the 2 community liaison officers, and the 4 janitors.
I'll second.
That's the amendment to the
Are
appropriations.
those all employed now, or they're open?
No.
No.
4 are open.
4, 5, 6 out of the 7 are not working yet. We've hired 1 community liaison officer, there's 1 opening.
No, none of those are currently filled.
None of them are currently funded.
Okay.
No, she's being paid out of another.
She's being paid out of another fund.
Right. Can you explain how she's being paid
I believe the employee that you're referencing is working part-time on as a special projects manager, which was a position added under Mayor Motley's administration.
You know what, then, I don't want all this, I'll make a motion to table this issue.
Let's get it done.
I truly
I don't want to, Mayor, but I don't want all this strife either.
I believe we should get it done.
Let's try the amendment.
Well,
If it doesn't pass, let's vote on it.
Let's try the
Let's vote
amendment.
on
There was
it.
a second.
All right.
A motion to amend
Vote
on
it, vote
the
it.
appropriations ordinance minus the 7 positions. The Director of Governmental Services, for the record, 2 community liaison officers, and 4 janitors.
So you want to vote on, just so we're,
And none of those are filled.
I would, if,
we
a
understand.
motion to amend, yes, sir.
You just want to vote on the amendment right now.
I'm sorry, sir.
You just want to vote on the amendment right now.
Yes.
I need
That
it.
is correct, sir.
That's,
Motion to amend.
That's the motion to amend. That's all we're voting on right now, is the motion to amend, minus for those 7 positions for the appropriations ordinance.
Well, I'll be clear, that's not something that I'm looking to do. That's not something I'm looking to do, so, all right. There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
There is.
There's a second on the floor. So we want to go with a roll on this. Bob, can you explain, voting aye would mean you want the amendment, voting no would mean you do not want the amendment.
That is correct.
Okay, be very clear. Aye is...
Can I ask for a point of clarification?
Yes, ma'am.
Since no dollar amount is associated with that motion, is that being delegated to the Director of Finance to make that modification and bring back as a report only if it were to pass?
It would have to be.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So a vote aye means you want the amendment. A vote no means you do not want the amendment. And I'm, as the mayor, I do not want the amendment. I'm not looking for that amendment tonight. I'm looking to vote it up or down as presented. Okay? There's a motion and a second on the floor, and we ask for a roll call. Before, wait, any more questions? Uh-oh, Alderman Taylor.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I just feel like maybe that needs to go into a discussion and be held over before it would come to a vote, because it's a whole different thing than what we've talked about. So if that's what we're thinking, then I think we need to hold it over.
That's what I said an hour ago. The appropriation.
Yeah. I think we need to have it at the next meeting, but it would have to be done at the next meeting, because I do not want to extend this and make this come up all the time, so.
Alderman Taylor, with all respect, if the mayor doesn't want to make the amendments, then the council who has the vote, this is the only way we're going to be able to amend, is if we do it up here.
But if you're amending it, you're just taking all of those away without having a discussion that I think we should have first, because this is the first time this has come up. I really,
I said that an hour ago.
right.
All of them.
We're trying to accommodate the mayor and vote on it tonight.
Listen, as I have in the past, I voted my conscience. Vote your conscience. I told everybody, I'm ready. I'm ready. If that's where you want to go, I'm ready.
I'll vote.
Okay? If that's, but understand now what comes with that vote. So if that's where you are, then you go. But, you know,
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am. Alderman Newsom.
After all this, the part-timers for the summer, beach workers, if we hold this over to July, they don't work. They don't work the beach, they don't work no summer, half the summer is gone for the kids.
They're already working.
If we don't appropriate, they don't work the summer.
Well,
We
how-
don't have any summer workers.
We had them last year, right? I mean, is that true?
The beach rangers are there.
The beach rangers are in place.
The beach rangers were in the prior year appropriation and were accommodated in the 90-day rollover.
Okay.
The public works summer helpers were not in the prior year
Correct.
appropriation, therefore were not included in the rollover appropriation. So any new positions to the appropriation or any currently vacant positions are not currently being posted or backfilled.
Correct.
So the beach workers will continue to work.
For the 90 days.
The beach rangers.
Rangers.
Are already working, from what I understand.
Yes.
Chief? Yes.
They're working.
The public works
And what is
summer
their 90
helpers.
days, from May to,
It was till the end of July was the rollover appropriation.
okay.
And we have to have this passed by the end of July. Like I said an hour ago, I don't want to go to battle unless we have a little bit more. And I understand everybody's point up here. I do. But I would, if, like I said, if you guys force a vote, then we vote. But I would rather have us more together. But if that's not possible, it's not possible. I'd rather have us more together.
Well,
What's 2 weeks?
If I have no problem with holding this over. However, it is clear that 2 aldermen are not going to allow Sam Cunningham, the new mayor, to move on. That's clear. I understand. I get it. I get it. You want to. I understand. It is clear that you do not want these stop, hold on a second. These, let me correct these amendments, you don't want these things in there. That's clear. You've made it very, very clear tonight. You do not want those amendments. So let me be clear as to, before the odds go out there and then the Facebook saying this, you do not want these amendments in there. You don't want the new positions? Is that true? No new positions, correct? Yes or no, Alderman? Okay, then all right then. All right.
Mayor, I highly doubt that 4 custodians and 2 community liaisons are going to keep you from achieving your goals.
Okay. You want to move with the amendment, go with the amendment, or you want to hold it over? Which one you want to do? Which one you want to do?
I'd like to hold it over. I'll make I can't do
There's
that.
a
We have
motion on the floor
right now.
already.
I can't make that, can I?
There's a motion on the
We
floor.
have to vote on
I'll
Alderman
withdraw the motion
Valco's.
if he wants to hold it over.
Okay.
Vote on this one.
But don't we have to vote on the other one first because it was seconded? Okay.
No. If there is a motion and a second on the floor by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman May, correct?
He's
All right.
withdrawing.
So now that we can call the roll, but there is, Alderman Valco said he's withdrawing his
I
motion.
would, sir, if he wants to hold it over, yes, sir.
All right.
And Alderman May, do you concur in that?
Alderman May?
What's that?
Do you withdraw your second?
Yes, I do.
Huh?
Corporation Counsel, would the proper motion be to table it?
Yes, it would be.
I'll make a motion to table it.
To a date certain?
And then it comes up.
Do I have to give a date?
It comes up the next council meeting.
Next council meeting, I
That's
assume.
July 3.
July 3, I guess.
So July 3rd, this will be placed back on the agenda for a vote of the appropriation on July 3rd. Is that where we're at, Alderman?
That's what the motion is.
That's what the motion is?
Yep.
Do it.
Alderman Tempest says he wants to vote tonight. Yeah. Good, Larry. Yeah.
I'm with
Yeah, it's a.
Get it over with.
We need a roll call vote on the motion to table.
It's 2 to
Alderman
We don't need
Seeger.
a second before you, we don't need a second to table. Any alderman has the right to table without a second.
And then it's held over.
Then it's held over. Okay, motion? I'm sorry, Janet.
You don't have to, we don't vote. You have to roll call.
This is to hold it over, not vote on it tonight.
You don't have to vote.
Okay. My vote is aye.
You don't have to vote.
We're using the automatic privilege then?
Yeah,
Okay,
to-
that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so this was held over.
Council could vote to override it.
What a spirited conversation tonight, now, wasn't it? All right. On item B, motion to approve an ordinance authorizing the sale of personal property owned by the city of Waukegan. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Mozia.
What is this?
Roll call.
I'm sorry, there's a motion, there is a question to the motion. Is there specific items that we're,
What property is this?
what property are we, I do not know. Tina,
Those vehicles.
are these vehicles we're doing? Typically it's vehicles when we, for this,
No, personal
okay.
property.
It's personal property owned by the city of Waukegan.
No,
Yes, that's the police's.
Chief?
This is seized property.
Oh, seized property? Chief of Police, is this seized property?
That's being sold, Chief.
just,
Believe so.
Seized properties that we can send them out to auction, all right?
well, Mayor,
Yeah.
this document that's attached to it is a listing of all the vehicles that were mentioned in the Public Works Committee, so it's, I think it's exactly the same list. It's 13 vehicles.
No,
The
David,
descriptor.
that's Public Works.
No, but this is
No,
also,
Is it?
and if you look at it says Waukegan ordinance dot X,
Okay.
dot one.
Public Works.
It's the same as the Public Works list.
Sorry, it's been a bit of a long night,
We
so.
already voted on it.
That list there is,
Item C.
There's a statute that requires that in order to sell public property, you're supposed adopt an ordinance, not just do it by motion.
So that goes on to go online.
So we have to vote twice.
Yeah,
Online.
it can be done online, I don't care how it's done, it just has to declare it as surplus property and it becomes in an ordinance form.
Okay. All right, roll call, please.
Yep.
Did we have a first on that?
It was-
Motion.
Do we have a motion?
Yes, we have a first and
Okay.
second.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Item C.
Wait,
motion-
wait, wait.
Alderman
Alderman
Taylor.
Taylor.
Oh, did you call it? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Did I hear Valco?
Valco?
You said Valco, but I never heard Taylor.
Oh,
Alderman Taylor? Aye.
All right, item C, motion to approve an ordinance adopting 2017 Prevailing Wage Act. A motion by Alderman Tempest, correction, motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Tempest. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor. Aye.
Item D, motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Taylor to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a Lake County Home Consortium Agreement. Any questions to the motion?
Is that-
Alderman Villalobos.
What is this,
Go ahead. Alderman Seager, go
Oh, I'm
ahead.
sorry, Alderman Seager.
And then I'll.
is this housing property or a business property?
No, this is for the, this is a Community Development Block Grant Home Dollars that we have to have a resolution to approve using the funds, correct, Ezel? Yeah, okay. No, Alderman Ezel is our Director of Governmental Services. Ezel, is that correct?
You couldn't hear?
Regarding the home dollars, I think we have a representative from the county as part of, the home dollars is part of the county consortium that we have? Correct. Did you want to kind of briefly explain, ma'am? Yeah, just get the, okay.
Hi, I'm Monica Bobo. I work for Lake County. I manage the home dollars on the county side, so I work very closely with Azal. The home dollars come from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, just like the CDBG dollars. They're very restricted in use. They must be used for permanent housing. So I know CDBG dollars have a very wide range that you guys are used to hearing about, but home dollars are for housing only. And we receive the dollars as a consortium between Lake County, the City of Waukegan, and the City of North Chicago. So every 3 years we have to enter into an agreement. So this is just renewing the agreement we entered into 3 years ago for another 3 years.
Okay, yeah. That was easy. Thank you. That's collaboration with city and county. Thank you, Ezel, and thank you, Ms. Bobo. All right, any other questions to the motion?
Yeah, just a quick
Alderman
question.
Villalobos.
Do we know the anticipated amount of the funds, and do you already have lined up certain projects, or know where the funds are going to go to? And
No,
right now?
right now we have the funds, I think it's 400,000 for 2018 and 400,000. Ezel, is it 400,000, 18 and 19? For the home dollars?
No. No.
Okay. What is it? Do you remember the dollar amount?
Monique.
Go ahead, ma'am.
We don't know dollar amounts for future years because it is dependent on the federal budget. So we still have not found out our 2017 dollar amount because the 2017 federal budget was just passed a few weeks ago.
Oh, goodness.
There is still funds from program year 16 to be spent. I believe it's somewhere around 200,000. We project that the 2017 amount will be similar because the amount funded for the program on a national level was exactly the same dollar amount. So we assume we will receive the same dollar amount.
So when you say 200,000, is that for the whole program itself, or is
No,
that?
that's the for Waukegan.
For Waukegan itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And
Thank
as
you.
far as we're going to be using those funds for, Ezel and his team is putting together a plan to present not only to myself but to the aldermen as to how they can use those funds. So.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Item E, motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Seager, to approve an ordinance modifying the order of business at meetings of the City Council on the City of Waukegan.
What is that, with the audience time going first?
Is that
that
with
what
the
that
audience?
Yeah, that formally
Audience
moves
time.
the audience time to the front of the meeting.
By ordinance, okay.
That formally moves the audience time to the front of the meeting.
All right.
All right?
So moved.
Quick question.
Yes, Alderman Villalobos.
That document there, it doesn't have executive session in the listing of things? Should it?
What?
It doesn't have executive session in the listing of the order? Do we have to put that in there to correspond to our agenda as it usually
No,
goes?
because you can add an executive session anytime you need it,
Okay, just,
and at whatever point is appropriate.
okay. All right, thank you.
Exec session.
Okay. Any other questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye for the people.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Item 11, Alderman's time.
Didn't have a motion. Oh, there was a motion on that.
Yeah, there was a motion.
Was it Alderman Newsome?
And second by Alderman Seager.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
All right, we have Alderman's time.
Already, executive.
Oh, Alderman Seager. Alderman Seager. Oh,
We're, oh, I'd like to thank Public Works, Police Department, Fire Department, all the departments with these storms that we had come through. I know up in my ward, there was some trees down, but they're busy getting it all cleaned up, and I really appreciate that. And that's about all I got to say. Thank you very much. Oh, thanks for the good turnout tonight.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Villalobos.
Of course, I'm going to speak. First, I want to say thank everyone for sticking around tonight. It's been a long meeting, but I really appreciate you all sticking through with us. Just a couple of things of note. There was a ribbon cutting for Heart of the City Soccer Organization here in downtown Waukegan. The mayor, myself, and a couple other aldermen were there. It was exciting to hear these youth in Waukegan and actually part of Lake County get opportunity to be part of an organization that actually helps build the parents as well. So it's a community-based group where there's certain trainings and certain opportunities to learn about the community offered by this organization, the soccer group. Also, they're very successful in creating winners for Waukegan. I believe one of the boys' teams won the President's Cup for the state of Illinois. So we have some state winners here walking amongst us. I think the mayor mentioned at one point trying to get them here to give them a recognition. Number two, I got to see our mayor speak so eloquently at the Waukegan College year-end event. Sam, I thought you did a wonderful job in delivering a message to the youth that helps promote the idea of investing in our community and believing that you can be successful regardless of where you say you come from. Next one, I was able to attend an event hosted by a Greater Waukegan Development Coalition in Chicago called Select Chicago. This is actually part of, I wasn't aware of this. This was directed about foreign direct investments. I wasn't aware of this, so some of the learning points I got from this learning event was under President Obama's administration, there was a thing created called Select USA, which is a kind of clearinghouse for foreign direct investors. I didn't know that existed, so if there's anybody that comes to Waukegan that's a foreign direct investor, we can go to Select USA and say, hey, are they vetted through you? Are they clear to go? So that's a great place for us to understand how we can actually start working with foreign direct investment money. The other thing I also learned too was what the state of Illinois is trying to do. There was a gentleman presenting from the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, And he was saying that one of the things the state of Illinois is trying to do as a comprehensive means of working with industries and business owners, large business owners, medium business owners, more large scale than anything, is to say, what are you doing? What do you need from the state of Illinois? They're understanding that one of the things that keep finances in the state working better is to keep retention of large businesses in the state. So for Waukegan, we could try to implement some of that too, reaching out to our large business owners and saying, how can we help them? A gentleman from another community mentioned that they did that and they're starting to do it in their community. And one of their longstanding businesses that employs, I forget the number of people, but it was a certain good amount, said that we want to try to get city water. We don't want to go through well anymore, so that was actually a plus for the community to be able to offer that to them. So those are just a couple of things we do internally here. Also, Sam, Mayor, I want to say kudos to you for your statement about joining the climate mayors. I think it's important for us to be there. Again, there's opportunity, which dovetails into my other statement about the Future Energy Jobs Act. It was a great thing to learn about solar opportunities in Waukegan. We as residents, there's opportunities for us actually to get, I think, reduced or free solar panels on our residencies. The school district is moving forward also with the solar arrays, the Yeoman Creek. So again, this is coming to Waukegan, and we need to get on board with this. The timing for communities to say they want to do projects and get some of that funding through the state ends at the end of the summer, so we should actually try to coordinate something. And I'll be happy to sit in these meetings and help with the coordination of this to get Waukegan on that list to make sure that we get funding and we don't miss that opportunity for us. Last, I'll leave with some upcoming events. There's a lot going on this summertime. I will particularly just kind of promote the 4th Ward. There's the Motown at the beach this Saturday, I believe at 6 p.m. And then there's the Harbor Fest that's going on at the Harbor, Harbor's Edge, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, from noon to about 10 or 11. And then there's also the Cleaning the Amstuds on, sorry, I had this pulled up. Clean the Amstuds is going to be on Saturday also at 9 a.m. And then also in partnership, me personally as the alderman, I'm doing a partnership with Rotary Club of Waukegan to do a cleanup on the McClory Bike Path, and that's at 10:30 a.m. to noon. And we're meeting out there on the entranceway of the McClory Bike Path on Washington going north. So those are a couple things going on in the 4th Ward. And again, I just want to say thanks to everyone for being here tonight. That is all.
Alderman Newsom.
Pass.
Alderman Tempest.
Thank you. I'd like to talk about becoming a tree hugger, I guess. I remember when we had the elm trees and the Dutch elm disease, wiped them out. I remember at the UI once, it kept me awake at night cutting all the beautiful elm trees in the broad. We have a problem facing us now in Waukegan. It's called ash trees in the ash borer. And it's really affecting our trees, especially in my area, anywhere there's an ash tree. The borer gets in, it starts dying from the top. It's a slow process, but we have a problem, and I think we're way behind on taking some of these trees down, almost to the point where it's almost a liability to the city. They're not coming down fast enough, so I would ask your administration to look into this problem very seriously, because we're going to have to get going on it, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Thank you.
Alderman May.
Thank you. I also want to thank you, Mayor Cunningham, for stepping up at the last meeting. Several of us asked you to join the Climate Mayors, and I really appreciate your moving forward with joining that and being committed to renewable energy in the city of Waukegan, because it is the future. I also want to thank Rita Mayfield and Clean Power Lake County for holding the Future Energy Jobs Act forum this past weekend. A lot of great information on solar, and I'll just reiterate what Alderman Villalobos said. It's really important that Waukegan keeps its eye on this. We don't want to miss out on these opportunities in our city, opportunities for our community, for affordable solar, for economic justice communities, and I'd hate to see us miss out on that, and jobs. Just want to talk about a couple things that people talked about. Thank you to the Queens for coming. Oh, the amnesty, I'm wondering if the young lady who was here before, the county clerk's office and the state's attorney are doing Operation Greenlight from July 17th through the 21st, and waiving all fees on tickets, but that's through the county. That's not a city thing. So if you go to Facebook, it's Operation Greenlight, and you can find out the parameters of that program. Mr. Peterson's been talking about the towing contracts, and I just want to touch on that really quickly. I really like to see our city develop a policy regarding these towing contracts. Until our past election, I had no idea what a big lobby the towing businesses were in this city, but it's a big thing. And I think that if the city were to sit down and write a fair policy and with a transparent bidding process, we could take the politics out of the towing contracts and just make it more fair and transparent for the whole community. And I know that's the direction that you're moving, so I'd like to hope that maybe this administration would consider actually writing a policy. We can publish it and then follow our policy with maybe annual biddings on these towing contracts. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Alderman Valco.
Nothing tonight, ma'am.
Alderman Taylor.
Just a couple quick things in my ward. I want to remind people that school is out right now, so please, when you're driving through these subdivisions, slow down. I'm finding in a lot of mine, I'm seeing cars that are going 45 in a 25-mile zone, so please, watch. These are your children. Please, park your cars in the driveway if you have a chance and not on the street. I'm finding in a lot of the subdivisions that the driveways are empty, but the streets are full and you can't get cars down them. So please, if you have an open driveway, park there and have your guests park in your driveway. Last, I want to say, mainly to the aldermen, as of last week on June 8th, we now have a plan for the River Road corridor after 11 months. So, no, Mayor, I do not want to work on a comprehensive plan. I'm just going to put that out there. 11 months was long enough. So please take a look at it and give me your feedback. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Have a great evening.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Newsom to adjourn. All those in favor? Motion's have it.